Kuhn is the fullback with the first and goal. Kuhn gets the call. Pyle driving his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort.
Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the. Here comes the. Here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. E-double-L. I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like blood. So ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
Wolf back. What's going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street, rotostreetjournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves here with your week 2 fantasy tailgate. All your sit-start questions, plus the news and inactives, all the notes you need to get ready to dominate here on Sunday. My boy CJay is on the way in, so he'll be here momentarily getting set up for his Sunday over at his dad's place. Unreal setup he's got over there. So he's getting ready. He'll be in soon. As always, we'll start with a couple quick Thursday night football takeaways. I'll rip through the rest of the news that you need to know because it might actually inform your sit-start questions. And then the rest of the show, a good hour and a half, whatever it is, whatever it takes to get all your questions in, we will do it, Wolfpack. I already see 20 questions in the mailbag as we get live here. Love to see it. Already seeing some call-ins lining up. Love to see that too. Priority is always given to the call-ins and or the super chats, of course, but we should be able to get through all your questions. And as I already see happening, you guys are well-trained, Wolfpack. That thumbs up button does really help us get out to more people, like shares, retweets, all that good stuff to continue to help the Wolfpack grow. As you guys are seeing, we're growing huge this year. It's awesome. Great to see. But man, it'd be so appreciated if you guys could help us out with just an easy thumbs up, a share, any of that good stuff. And I'd be remiss if I did not mention that our presenting sponsor today is No House Advantage. I will talk about them a bit more later. But while you're hearing the news, go give them a download. Use code RSJ for up to a $25 match. The contest they're doing today, $20,000 grand prize, and it's 17% full. Go get in on that action. I mean, it's insane. Looks like my man CJay has arrived. How are we doing today, brother?
Going on? Hey, beautiful day out. 85 degrees. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I know. You've got the outdoor setup by the pool today. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I wish I could be there. I got some family visiting, so sadly I can't make it, unfortunately. But, man, it's going to be a good one. Sounds like you got some good meat sizzling on the grill and whatnot today, too.
Oh, definitely. Going little Brazilian fire today.
Oh, God. That's my favorite type of food, too. So I am extremely jealous that I cannot be there, but it's going to be a good one. So we haven't even dug in yet, CJay. We'll start quickly with our Thursday night football takeaways. And as you guys know, Keenan Allen was out. We saw our guy Josh Palmer have himself a decent day. Should be a good streamer anytime that Keenan Allen is out. He scored every single time he's filled in for Keenan Allen. It was looking scary for a little while, but he did eventually get in. More concerning, of course, was Justin Herbert, but it's going to look like he is okay. He's all fine. He's called day-to-day with fractured rib cartilage. The guy proved just how tough he is, though. Great to see him just gut it out, throw some dimes down the stretch, even with that, just holding his ribs the entire time. Hopefully, everything's okay there. It was also great to see him and Mike Williams finally connect after a big dud of a week 1. Really came back with a vengeance, over 20 fantasy points in mostly just a half. They kind of sold out to shut him down in the second half, the Chiefs did, but he still came through big, so you guys can breathe a nice sigh of relief and know Mike Williams is not going to be this huge bust the rest of the year, looking like that dominant guy we saw to begin last year where he was only outscored by Cooper Kupp over the first 5 weeks.
That's also why he's so frustrating, though, because he's so good, and then he just disappears completely for weeks.
Exactly. I don't get why he disappears and what how is he not just an every week type of just target hog when you see some of these plays the guy makes? Hopefully this was a reminder that the team needs to consistently force feed him. I'm with you there 100%. Somebody who's not being quite as force fed as they were last year, Austin Eckler. Now, you can't complain about 14 carries and then ultimately, even more important, 10 targets. What was nerve-wracking was like 6 of those targets came in the last 2 minutes or so of the game. And yes, when they're trailing, you can expect that, and certainly in 2-minute offense. But if they weren't trailing, if they were kind of bleeding the clock out, it looked like Sony Michel might be that guy. He looked horrible, gotten stuffed on the one, as did Josh Kelly. Eventually hopefully that goal line roll will go back to Eckler as they continue to try to have someone else do it, and they just keep getting stuffed. So ultimately, I do think it will go back to Eckler. It might have cost them the game at certain points if they did not go to him and they go to Sony Michel, who just looks like shit. So hopefully, again, nobody behind him is impressive. It's just a matter of will he get that work back that led to 20 touchdowns last year? He's not looking like that first rounder that everybody expected in the top 5. So concerning usage there. Everett, another good game. Your boy Everett CJay. So got to be encouraged by that.
He may enter the doghouse though. Did you see on that pick 6?
Yeah.
Completely gave up on the route.
That was pathetic. Yeah, tapping himself out. And I mean, like, maybe the coach should call time out there, but you're a fucking NFL player. You're getting paid millions of dollars. Like, you should be in
called like a 25-yard pass. He acted like he ran like 90.
Like, that's not a play you should have to tap out on. So, as I sit here getting heavy in breath, like just reading too many words right now, I'm judging like Gerald Everett. But still, it's the truth. Like, don't tap out there. He could be in the doghouse. So something to definitely monitor. But at this point, I think he could be a low-end tight end 1 you can trust most weeks. It'll be interesting to see if that remains the case when Keenan Allen comes back. But definitely an offense where he is very viable. I had, 71 yards, 6 catches. Should have had probably a touchdown. That did like they looked his way. Obviously did not come down with that one. Last couple notes here. Juju, 3 catches, 10 targets, just ugly. And just a reminder that this receiver rotation is going to be hideous. So in that case, I think you can drop Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I do think Juju is like a wide receiver 3 because he probably is the main vein here. But again, was a distant afterthought in this game. So he's going to be frustrating. He was a guy we faded all preseason, and I'm happy about that. You got to be a little bit nervous. In my Hail Mary of the week, Jerick McKinnon, nearly splitting snaps down the middle, does get a touchdown. He's definitely the number 2 here. Yes, Pacheco, like when they're up and bleeding clock, maybe he'll come in, but only 2 carries, 6 yards. Like, not a must hold in my opinion. CEH, obviously the year that we're all 100% out on him, is having himself actually a pretty good, solid start to the year. But as one of our favorite guests has noted, Dwayne McFarland, it's RB3 usage. It's not like heavy work. It's, a guy that's like middling flex that's making the most of the work right now. And he typically has not done that in the past. He has not been hyper efficient. He looks way better. I mean, maybe that weight loss story, all that stuff genuinely has some real credence to it. He looks a lot better this year. I do think that efficiency can exist in the Pat Mahomes offense too. So looking like one of the better picks you could have made is CEH, probably someone you can trust moving forward. We did get a bunch of sit starts on him on Wednesday, and for the most part went with him. So yeah, I'm pumped about that. That's all the Thursday takeaways I believe I jotted down. Is there anything I'm overlooking, CJ?
No, I think you got everything. I mean, I will say that that Patrick Mahomes did say it'd basically be a wide receiver committee this year. So it looks like that might be the case.
I mean, yes, from the horse's mouth, like he's going to tell us our receivers aren't good in fantasy this year because we're spreading the wealth. He himself still looks good. It wasn't obviously as dominant as week 1, but I mean, you don't get the Arizona secondary every single week, as we'll talk about with Derek Carr today. 3 to 5 touchdown upside, I think, for Derek Carr. I cannot wait to see him carve them up. So we'll move into the notes for today. As we do again, that thumbs up button does continue to help us grow, get out to more people. Please remain patient. I see our call-ins hanging out there. Love it. See you, David. See you, Jeremiah. You will be the first guys we pull up when we get on into those questions. But I will rip through this news, these notes. There's not a ton today, but there's a few really big players. So you just definitely want to pay attention, and maybe I'll answer a couple of your questions as we go through this. Joe Flacco is starting. Yay. I mean, it did not even help Elijah Moore last week. So that was the one thing that could have been good. 59 freaking pass attempts. Like, his arm might get severed by the end of this game and just fall onto the absolute field if he does that again. Just, you never want Joe Flacco hucking it 59 times, especially in this stage of his career. Jameis Winston is going to play today. I know you're always a big fan of him, CJ. The Bucs are a good defense, though. So is he someone you'd trust this week, or would you look to other options?
No, that's always like such a war, even though the Saints do own the Bucs. But no, I'd want other options there. Not as confident as I was last week.
Would you fade on the other end of the ball, Tom Brady? I'm worried about him this week.
Oh yeah, he's terrible against the Saints. But
yeah,
a lot of people don't carry 2 quarterbacks. I mean, would I really want to add a quarterback and drop someone else? Not really.
Right.
But I don't know.
Probably not. He did have one 375-yard, 4-touchdown day last year on Halloween, actually. But other than that, in 4 contests with against the Saints, under 250 yards and multiple picks in all of them, like they do have his number. Dennis Allen does over there. So be a little careful, especially as we get to receivers, that because Godwin's out, Evans is going to play. Julio's coming down to the game time decision. So if you guys see that as we're live, just comment it on in if there's an ultimate decision made on him. But the weapons are going to be depleted. It's a defense that does typically own Tom. One of the very few defenses that ever can actually own him. I do like Russell Gage in all these guys' absences. He's out there actually in a lot of leagues after a disappointing week 1, about 40% rostered. So he could be a nice plug and play. He typically has owned the Saints actually, even while he was at the Falcons last year. So he's a guy to look up for. Big other receiver news is Pittman was ruled out yesterday, looking like the next dominant wide receiver one, but injured his quad in practice, and it's never a good sign. They ruled him out pretty quickly, so this could be a lingering multi-week thing. Definitely make sure you continue to check in. If you really needed a Hail Mary and you wanted to stick to the same team, my guess is Paris Campbell's the guy. He's still out there in the vast majority of leagues. He's certainly the most talented guy. So I imagine he'll see a bunch of catches, targets today. Only 3,700 on DraftKings too. So I do like that price. The sneakier play, if you're trying to sneak someone in on DraftKings, might be Ashton Doolin, who only ran 14 routes last week, but did see 6 targets on him. So
all of the analytic nerds love him.
Oh, of course they do. And I mean, he typically has performed whenever he's gotten the opportunity. So at 3,200, a nice little plug and play as well on DraftKings. Certainly 2 guys I don't necessarily want in my lineups, but with all these injuries, you might not have a better choice than maybe Paris Campbell. So check if he's out there and you're desperate for a receiver. I could see him really significant, like 12 target type of day because they have nobody else. The other potential punt that could come out of there is Kylan Granson, who ran more routes, saw more targets than Mo Alley Cox at the tight end position, 2,600 on DraftKings. I mean, we're getting in the weeds here, but that can get you up to, Cooper Kupp, who's 9,900, Jonathan Taylor, 9,900, or, Adams smashing at 8,600. Like, there's some real studs on this slate you want to get to. You got to get ugly. I think the Colts is a good way to get ugly if you're playing some DFS today. Another guy that is returning is T. Higgins. Maybe that's your pivot if you had Michael Pittman in. He's $800 cheaper. T. Higgins was at 5,900. Nice price against a bad Cowboy secondary that gave up the 5th most points to outside receivers. They're going to be trying to take Chase out of the game after 16 targets last week. I could see this being one of those T. Higgins classic blow-up days. Certainly in my top 15 wide receivers now that he's good to go. So make sure you have him in your lineup if you have T. Higgins. Trying to say, Gabe Davis, Daddy Davis, unfortunately popping up on the injury report, an ankle issue similar to Pittman. That's never good if something happens at practice and they pop up. He's also playing on Monday night. Now, here's the deal. I 100% think Daddy's worth waiting for. He has earned that opportunity, in my opinion. Just check, is Jamison Crowder out there? I mean, Isaiah McKenzie would be my first go-to. He did get dropped by quite a few people last week, similar to Gage. So maybe you can get to McKenzie. If he's gone, the Jamison Crowder, who actually saw more targets than McKenzie last week, some decent Band-Aids in case you have to get there. There's also guys like KJ Osborne, because there's 2 Monday night games. So you're going to have a little bit more flexibility if you needed to ultimately pivot off of Gabe Davis. I'd make sure he's in your flex unless you already have like a running back locked in there, though, just in case you can play it safe. Kenneth Gainwell's out there in a lot of leagues too. So there's definitely some pivots unless you had really good options, because I've gotten a couple questions like Brandon Cooks or Gabe Davis. Well, at this point, I probably wouldn't wait it out. I'd be a little bit nervous to bench somebody who has top 10 upside in their own right. But if it's just like Paris Campbell, or do I wait it out for Gabe Davis? You fucking wait it out for the daddy. Like he's the stud. Would you agree with that take, CJ?
Yeah, definitely. And then, as you said, there's Crowder or McKenzie most likely on your waiver wire in case.
There's Band-Aids. Yeah, exactly. Osborne, Gainwell. There's definitely some Band-Aids. Obviously a big downgrade, but if you're looking at Paris Campbell, he's not like a steep upgrade over those I actually probably would like McKenzie or even Jamison Crowder more than Paris Campbell should Davis be out. So definitely an exploitable potential matchup for him. The running backs maybe get more involved too there. Allen Robinson, quote unquote, needs to be more involved. Well, don't know. He could be less involved than what he had last year, just running wind sprints on week 1. That was horrendous to see. Obviously, one of our guys, I'd love to see him pan out because I know a lot of you guys out there, Wolfpack, have him. Probably my most viral tweet today was a few days ago, if you have Allen Robinson, you do want to slap him in the flex so he can think about what he's done. Definitely some misbehavior to address there with Allen Robinson. A quick
put him in a little flex timeout.
Just a quick slap on the wrist, exactly, for Allen Robinson. He does not deserve one of your top 2 receiver spots, but if you have some flex space, I would be playing him. It is the Falcons. It is Sean McVay. He's a smarter coach than Matt Nagy, unless Robinson's completely cooked. And I did see plenty of videos of him running wide open at different times. Him and Stafford just had no time to go and build that chemistry, with Stafford not playing any preseason games and really missing the vast majority of camp too. So it's going to take a little time. This is a great, I love when teams are facing just horrendous defenses like the Falcons, because it gives you like a practice rep almost in a way. Like this is where they can just you might see him get force-fed in a way to try to establish.
Yeah, McVay's a guy, too, that's going to want to get him going.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to look like an idiot signing this guy to big money. McVay's smart enough. I don't think Robinson's cooked, and I would have him definitely in my lineups. I would not be shocked to see 12 target type of thing. 5,500 too on DraftKings, a nice cheap price. People might be a little bit hesitant to go to him given last week. So definitely check him out if you need a cheap, nice punt at DraftKings. 5,500 is not necessarily a punt, but like for him, he has legitimate 100 plus TD upside, 2 TD upside type of game within him. Could suck. It'd be the panic button if he sucks again, but let's not worry about that quite yet. Allen Lazard is expected to play at receiver. Most of the notes are at receiver, so I jumped running backs for them. I'll go through the running backs in 1 second, but I'd have Lazard in my lineups if I own him. Going to be playing tonight, and it was clear they needed him. Aaron Rodgers looked lost without his main guy. So if you have Lazard questions, let me know, but there's a good chance. He's right in my top, I believe, 30 receivers this week. They clearly needed him. They're facing a bad Bears team. So I think Lazard could get hitting the ground running right off the bat here. Giants, Tony is expected to play. At least he'll be on the sidelines. Who knows if he'll actually play? It makes no sense to me. I mean, he got like 2 touches and looked electric, as he always does with the ball in his hand, but played 7 snaps, even with Wan'Dale hurt. You got to imagine, similar to, an Allen Robinson, I think they will be scheming him in. Dable did mention he missed so much camp. He's got to kind of earn the trust that he can have a key role here. Someone definitely, I wouldn't play today, but I saw him get dropped in a lot of places.
Did you see that video of him and Dayball doing a little fist bump there in practice?
Fist bump, yeah. Adjust the rankings, baby. We got a fist bump. You better adjust for that. I probably would not start him, but if he got dropped, he's an electric talent. I mean, a lot of the most predictive metrics for rookie receivers, he smashed last year. So definitely give him a look if he's out there as a bench stash. See if he gets a little more involved this week. Richie James is only 3,200 on DraftKings. Not a guy I'm streaming in my seasonal leagues, but again, we're looking at punts. A lot of people will be going to Ashton Doolin, as we mentioned. Could be another leverage type of play. Richie James, he saw like 9 targets last week, led the team in receiving, other than Saquon, of course. Could be an interesting play. I am smashing Saquon wherever I'm playing DraftKings, by the way. I mean, everybody's going to be.
His receiver prop on No House Advantage, 26.5.
Unbelievable. Yeah, easy. That should be your 10-pointer. We'll get to No House Advantage in momentarily. But yeah, absolutely. Like 26.5. He might have that on the first reception he gets. Looking at running backs, again, smash Saquon. You didn't need my help to tell you that. Swift is expected to play, but the team might have to be selective about his usage. I don't know what the fuck that means. It's what classic Rappator, like rap sheet, just makes no sense. We've seen him tweet like light workload coming, snap counts, and then Christian McCaffrey sees 40 touches. Like I don't really buy any of this type of this
unless it's J.K. Dobbins news.
He's fully on the pulse of J.K. Dobbins and in the skull of J.K. Dobbins. Just owns the real estate rap sheet does of him. But they made such a big deal. If any of you watched Hard Knocks, you saw Deuce Staley talking over and over about playing hurt, and there's a difference between injured and hurt, and you got to gut it out. You touch your back ankle type. He was really pushing that, and so I don't expect Swift to suddenly hit 3 to 4 touches and taken out for Jamal Williams. He already was getting subbed at the goal line, which does make Williams maybe flex worthy. But I still would have Swift in my lineup unless you are completely stacked with multiple top 5 running backs. He's still in my top 10. Swift is just too damn good to not have in there. Alvin Kamara, I mean, talk about bad picks right now. Geez, him over Saquon might be one of the dumbest picks. We recommended Kamara. We were all in on him. Already hurt. I had Saquon right after him. I had 11, 12. I was high on both of them, but just that one difference really does change the landscape, obviously. Hopefully, this is the rest he needs with the rib injury to get back to full health, get back to his efficient self. I honestly don't even hate that he's resting because he's never that good against the Bucs anyways. He's typically just gotten swallowed by this defense. I also don't think Mark Ingram's that viable in his stead. In the past, we've seen him get fed and be a workhorse, and it's usually a great RB2. Just plug him right in. You're going to get 15 to 20 points. I don't love it against the Bucs today, and especially because Ingram is dealing with an ankle injury in himself. They did think this is going to be more of a committee. The New Orleans beat writers are reporting. They expect him to split time with just the godforsaken Tony Jones, the worst football player to ever step on a field.
Yeah, I'm fading that backfield completely.
It's hideous. I would not be touching any of them. Kamara would have been even a tough start himself this week, so I don't even hate that he's out unless you have just no options to fill in for him. Trying to think like Jordan Mason, our guy from Grant Cohen, hyping him up. If you're that desperate that you have nobody else, like maybe you go to him and just hope he gets the hot hand. I know Jeff Wilson was the hottest waiver wire pickup of the week. I definitely have him where I picked him up. In fact, I didn't have to pick him up. I drafted him everywhere. Because as you probably saw, CJ, who will be the number one waiver wire priority of week 1. I tweeted it out a week before. I said Jeff Wilson. I don't know. Sometimes these things just come to me, and I can see the future.
I love Grant was so on point with that quote that he said about he used to be a great 1-cut runner. Now he's a 0-cut runner.
He's a no.
He does suck.
Runner, yeah,
He's such a plotter. It's not
he has been an absolute plotter the last couple seasons. He didn't look great last week, but I'm giving everybody a pass. He's definitely going to get the first crack today. And when he's seen 11 or more carries, he's finished as a top 12 running back in 4 of those 6 games. So I think there's RB1 upside here with Jeff Wilson. If you blew your number 1 priority on him, you got to roll him out. You got to see what happens here because he could get the hot hand. He has been fed in the past in these situations, but I do really like this Jordan Mason kid. If you're looking for a tryout today on your bench, give him a look. Ken Walker's going to debut today. Now, Penny's definitely the starter here, but I am a big fan of Ken Walker. I loved him as a prospect coming in. He's out there, only 60% rostered right now. Pick him up, put him on the bench, see what happens here. Because he's a really good talent and a team that probably wants to run the ball more than they throw. Typically his MO there. Leonard Fournette is going to play. You got to get him in your lineups. A guy that's going to play that I'm still a little sketchy on is Najee Harris. He has not been very efficient with his work to start the year. 10 carries, 23 yards last week. The foot thing lingering. I really like stashing Jaylen Warren. It just seems like a matter of when, not if, Najee just implodes and has like a multi-week absence. And we know they'll feed whoever the number 1 guy is tons and tons of volume. If you have Najee, it's tough to sit him. He's my running back like 22 or so right now. Who would you go, Najee or Jeff Wilson? That's a tricky one for me.
I'm fading Najee hard this week. I mean, that injury looks sketchy. I think they'll get Jaylen Warren started, as you said. I don't know. I think they're going to kind of split time today. Honestly, I think he should have sat. That's every report, all those like Twitter doctors and everything, all said he was going to be out 2 to 3 weeks right away. I feel like he's cutting it out.
It's just like I said, I think a matter of when, not if. He's going to miss some significant time, and the Pats will probably sell out to stop him as they do. I don't know. I'd be pretty sketched out to start him. Sketchable sounds like Lunchables. Dontrell Hilliard, he was a potential Hail Mary play we mentioned, but he's going to be out after catching 2 touchdowns. I thought maybe a good game script, because they're facing the Bills. Maybe he gets more involved in catch-up mode, but he's going to be out there. So if you had him as a Hail Mary, check for somebody else who could maybe be Tyler Algier, because he's going to be active today, and Damian Williams is on the IR, will miss 4+ week. I don't think Algier is anything special, but they definitely want to get someone else involved. Williams got the start last week, and then Cordell had to get everything after that once he went down. I definitely like Patterson. I definitely would start Patterson. I think Algier's the guy that I would like to stash if I have the bench space and see how he performs, because they definitely want other people involved. Last notes at tight end, Kittle's not going to play. At least that's what it sounds like, not expected to play, according to Schefter. He's typically pretty accurate with these things. So I would not be holding out hope for George Kittle today. I would be getting a streamer in place. Our guy, Big Bob Tunyon, I know he didn't do great last week. He had 5 fantasy points, but Sunday night against the Bears, whenever he was in, he was getting targeted. He's definitely one of the more trusted weapons of Aaron Rodgers. I think this is a good spot to go back to the well there. Obviously, we would have recommended Everett on Thursday if you had tuned into the Wednesday stream. He was a big tight end fill-in when we mentioned Kittle's probably going to miss the game. Zach Ertz is playing in full. Love him on DraftKings. Only looking at about 5% ownership right now. I think he might see 15 targets. They're saying he's going to be a full workload after he practiced in full. And they clearly need weapons right now. I really like him against a bad Raiders secondary. I like that game in general to target. So I have Ertz right in my top 7 tight ends, and definitely a nice play at 4,500 on DraftKings. And another punt at tight end if you're desperate. I really like Tyler Conklin because CJ Uzomah is going to be out. This guy caught a touchdown last week. He was hyped up all summer, and nobody really wanted to report it because it's the Jets, and the Jets fucking suck. But he did have 4 catches last week, 16 yards and a score. Was, like I said, all summer, one of the biggest targets for Joe Flacco, and particularly in red zone drills. If you're desperate at tight end, I really don't hate Tyler Conklin. In fact, I probably don't have him ranked. The more I think about him, I don't think I have him ranked quite as highly. Where do I have him? I have him at 22 below Cole Kmet. I'd rather have him than Cole Kmet than Irv Smith. Like, I'd rather just roll out Conklin He's always made plays whenever he's used, so I like that guy. And then just other notable injuries, just 3 to quickly go through. Terron Armstead's questionable. He's certainly a huge part of that offensive line for Miami. Definitely a downgrade if he's out against a tough Ravens defense. Would make them an even better streamer. Ronnie Staley's doubtful. He's not going to play for the Ravens on the other side of the ball. And so that run game looked hideous in week 1. It might be another day stuck in the mud. Marcus Peters also out for the Ravens as well. And then the Bucs line. I mean, they're banged up at receiver. They're also banged up on the line. Their left tackle, Donovan Smith, is doubtful. He actually was ruled out right as we were going live. And then Tristan Wirfs was questionable. I don't know if there's any news on him quite yet, but certainly another one to track here. Because it's going to – I already was down on Tommy, but now that he has like a banged up line, banged up receiver core, I really don't mind the Saints as like a plug and play. 2,400 on DraftKings. Everybody's going to be going to the Bengals at 2,200, as they should against Cooper Rush, like a great price, good defense. But if you want to get a little different, let's say that the Saints score a touchdown at only $200 more, that'd be huge leverage against.
Or my favorite weekly play, anyone against the Patriots.
Yeah, Steelers, great stream. They're ultimately a little bit more expensive on DraftKings. Yeah. They're also up to about 70% rostered. We talked about them on our waiver wire show Tuesday at 7 p.m. We already talked about them as great streamers. Our man Keegs wrote all about them. And then the last note is Shaquille Leonard, formerly Darius Leonard, is out again after practicing all week. So that's a little bit concerning. I think it's good news for Evan Ingram. Talk about sleeper tight ends. I think Ingram's going to have a big day today. We'll get into our bold predictions in a sec, but I'd like to start Evan Ingram if he is out there. We saw OJ Howard score multiple touchdowns last week, and that guy's a corpse at this point. So I think Ingram could ultimately have himself a decent streamer day at tight end. Whew. Alrighty, that is all the news we went with. We got 75 questions already in the mailbag. You absolutely love to see it. Before we get to those, though, we do have to shout out our presenting sponsor. As mentioned, only 20% full as we entered today, a contest that has $20K going to first. I mean, unbelievable type of overlay, which means there's far less people entering it than the amount of prize pool there is out there. You're at the point right now, if you just enter, you're going to win because they pay out about 20% of people. And it's not it's not more than 20% full right now. So unless you're just horrendous at prop betting, you should do okay. We've got some good picks for you today. So No House Advantage, changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Playing pick'em contests versus other people for the shot at winning $250K plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, and earn points for correct picks and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house and 20 extra money if you hit all your picks. Bet on up to 5 player props, over-unders, or individual player matchups across every major sports league, including NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Sign up with promo code RSJ at nohouseadvantage.com or download the app on the app stores. Get your first deposit matched up to $25. Make sure to check out No House Advantage today. Experience daily sports redefined because it's not just how you play, but also where you play. You won't want to miss out on this. Again, $20K up for grabs on a contest that's 20% full. Again, where you play, not just how you play. Definitely a good key last line there. So check them out. I'll show you quickly my favorite picks for today. It does also just support the Wolfpack too, guys. If you go there, show them that we can really drive some traffic, the power of the pack, and that they want to continue to work with us. It would mean the world if you can go and check them out. So here's a few of my favorites, CJ, and you let me know how you think on these. I didn't actually see your article quite yet today, so I'm intrigued to hear what some of your picks are. These are my top ones, though. And as you can see, you kind of go for your highest one, 10 points, down to up to 1 point for your last one. And here's what I got. I got Brady under 2.5 passing touchdowns, again, as mentioned. Struggles against the Saints. Banged up crew, banged up line. I could see him getting to 2, like 202 and 2 interceptions type of thing.
Yeah, he's not throwing 3, though.
He's not throwing 3 touchdowns. That's a heavy line. I love Amon St. Brown to go over 5.5 receptions. He's going for a streak of 8+ catches in, I believe, 7 games. Like, would be I think it's an NFL record.
Yeah,
actually.
It's NFL record, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so they are definitely just going to pepper this guy, get him the record. Not just to get him the record, just because he's a beast, but I love that 5.5 or his 60.5 receiving line, too. You mentioned it, CJ. Saquon Barkley, 26.5 receiving yards. We were both locked into that. I think that's a golden one. Over.
You might have to move that up, although I do love the ones above it.
I know. I that might be the biggest lock. That's the one thing. If I wish you could easily slide them up and down because you do have to kind of replace and then replay. It gets a little tricky. That's the one part of the app functionality I don't love, but it's still yeah, it's simple enough. That's probably my favorite, 26.5. He's definitely going to smash that. I do also like Najee Harris banged up under 63.5. Even if he wasn't banged up, that's not a number he typically gets over. You're not drafting him for his rushing yard upside. You're drafting him because of his catching. And so 63.5 rushing yards, I'll smash the under with Belichick selling out to go get him. Brissett under 1.5 interceptions. That's a kind of weird one, but he actually is very good about protecting the rock. So the fact that they set this at 2 interceptions for him.
There were actually a few quarterbacks, I forgot off the top of my head, that had 1.5 interceptions that I like the under.
Yeah, it's not that common for, Wentz, okay, take the over on 1.5 interceptions, but Jacoby Brissett, I don't mind it. Speaking of Wentz, though, I do like him for over 1.5 passing touchdowns against a bad Detroit team. Certainly bad secondary. We saw Jalen Hurts move the ball at will. Yes, they gave up a ton of scores on the ground, but he went through 4 touchdowns last week. He's one of my favorite streaming quarterbacks as well.
My guy Jeff Okudah, though, is back.
What'd you say?
My guy Jeff Okudah, though, is finally showing a first round.
He was one of the biggest guys to target. You see who's lined up against him.
Put the clamps on Devonta Smith last week. Tell you that.
Oh yeah, ooh, good for him. I have no concern about Jeffrey Okudah out there at all. I do like Wentz to throw for at least 2 touchdowns. And one of my biggest streamers in my league where I have Matt Ryan, now that Pittman's out, I didn't drop Ryan because I still like him long term, but I did pick up Carson Wentz to stream in his place. I'm a big fan of him as a plug and play. This week I have him above Jameis Winston, but I do like Winston, especially with Kamara out. I imagine they open it up more through the air. So 2 touchdowns. I'm a little sketched out on that one. I'm not wicked firm here, but I don't hate that. I kind of, my confidence is definitely less as I go. So maybe if you have a few other ones, CJ, that I didn't have. I do like Chubb to just pulverize the Jets. 89.5. I think he definitely gets over 100 today. I think Goff will throw at least 2 touchdowns as well. And Amari under 52.5. He might be the secondary target to Donovan Peoples-Jones at this point. And either way, even if he's number 1, I don't have faith in Brissett to really sustain that. So, those are my picks. Is there any others, CJ, that you absolutely love before we get on to all these sit-start questions?
Yep. So I have the Saquon over 26.5 receiving yards, as we talked about. Najee Harris, I also love the under 63.5 rushing yards. I had Amon-Ra, but I had the receiving yards. But as I was typing it, I wrote at the end that I convinced myself to play the receptions too.
Yeah. I like both. I think he's going to hit them both. I don't think he can go wrong.
Yeah, and then I also have Tyreek Hill over 5.5 receptions. They targeted him a bunch last week, and the Ravens' top 4 corners are either out or injured. Humphrey missing practice on Friday. Peters' last game was 2 years ago. Brandon Stevens missed last 2 practices. Kyle Fuller out for the season. So Mike McDaniel loved throwing the ball last week.
He's great at 7,100 on DraftKings too. I love the Tyreek play today.
And then others that I just said I like but don't love. Mike Carter under 51.5 rushing yards. Jonathan Taylor over 104 rushing yards. Kareem Hunt over 19.5 receiving yards. Christian Kirk over 64.5 receiving yards.
I love Kirk too. Yeah, that's a good one.
ETN over 37.5 receiving yards. I'm going back to the well with him. And Trubisky under 1.5 interceptions.
I'm not trusting the Jags backs, but I think all the other ones you mentioned I did like quite a bit. All righty, Wolfpack, it is now time. Thank you for your patience. Again, check out nohouseadvantage.com, code RSJ for a $25 match, or the link is in the description as well. I believe I put it in there yesterday. Yeah, I did. So you can click that link and it will, again, support the pack. It's so greatly appreciated. They're an awesome app with tons of potential money to win, a win-win for everybody if you go check out No House Advantage and make those picks. Let's now hit what you're here for. Mentioned.
Oh, yeah, I got you now.
There we go. The mailbag. Got a little delayed there for a second. As mentioned at the top, preference is always given to super chats of $100 or more. Now, any super chats, of course, are given preference, as are call-ins, a new feature that we're doing this year. It's been awesome so far. We've really liked having you guys jump into the show with us. You don't have to just hear our horrendous voices the entire time. So we'll start with a couple call-ins who've been waiting very patiently for us here. But again, those super chats on YouTube or Collins, where the link is posted, will get you preference. My man was on before we even got live today. That's David Campanelli.
Look at that setup.
He's camping out.
Hey guys, how you guys doing today?
Oh, that giant stuff is just hideous, but otherwise I'm doing pretty well.
Campanelli reminds me of those guys that like they camp out the night before for like sneakers or something. He's just been sitting in
sneakers.
this.
No.
Yeah, since Saturday, I launched the stream and Campanelli's just been sitting in here waiting. I fucking love it. How are we doing today, though, bud? How can we help you out?
This is like it's a full PPR league, and the team is kind of stacked. I get it's a 12-team league, but I have Connor and Dylan at RB going and Cup and St. Brown going. So at my flex, I'm torn between Michael Thomas, Naheem Hines, or rolling out Zeke.
I'm going MT there. Full PPR. I mean, 2 touchdowns last week. He looks really good, and now no Kamara too. Just even more target share potentially opened up. I like Michael Thomas there. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same. I do like Hines a lot this week, especially in DraftKings. But out of those options, I go Mike Thomas.
Sweet.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I dropped everything else in the chat. So
awesome.
Let's keep it going.
Man. Well, thanks as always, keeping the streak alive. I'm sure we'll see you tonight as well. The post-game tailgate with me and the Truth, baby.
I do have some words for the Truth later.
Absolutely. So you can come on in and hopefully be praising our calls. But you can either rip us to shreds or praise us. We'll see how it goes, David. But cheers. Best of luck today. Let's get that W.
Have a great one, guys.
You too. Thanks, man. And we got our man, Jeremiah Moore, another regular call in here. Let's pull him on in. How are we doing today, Jeremiah? In the dark over there.
Yeah. I just had my kid on me. My wife just got him.
Oh, nice. There we are.
There's the light. All right.
Awesome.
So I dropped Butker and picked up Palmer. Started Palmer. So now I need a kicker.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who to drop. So I'm leaning towards dropping either Dameon Pierce or Jamal Williams or Jeff Wilson.
Oh man, that's tough. I don't want to drop any of those guys. I
don't either. I was thinking about waiting out the day and seeing who does the worst or who looks the worst, and then dropping whoever just doesn't look good.
Well, that was 100%. I was going to double check. It depends where you play. Like ESPN doesn't allow that. But if you're on Yahoo Sleeper, you typically can drop bench guys that have already gone. So is that's something you're allowed to do, Jeremiah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would 100% do that because all of those guys could have like huge spikes in value today. I really don't want to drop Dameon Pierce. I know he looked shitty. I know he played. He didn't even look that bad. He just played. His role was real shitty. They've talked and hyped up, like getting him more involved and just looked so good over the preseason. That's a guy I want to sit and wait on for at least a couple more weeks. But also Jeff Wilson starting. What if Swift gets even more banged up and suddenly Jamal Williams? So I think if you can wait it out, like there's no real edge to any of these kickers versus tonight's or tomorrow night. You have 2 games you can potentially pluck a kicker from as well. So I think that's absolutely the call. Maybe tonight, hopefully, if you can tune in, me and the Truth, we'll be live and we'll have a little more clarity on those 3. Or maybe somebody else on your bench gets hurt or something of that nature. So, I think the play is absolutely waiting it out. If I had to, right now project who I'd cut, it'd probably be Jamal. But we could easily see Jordan Mason take over the 49ers today, Yeah,
I was going to say Jamal Williams because although if he does play a lot, but he's a guy that people overlook just by his name. Like he's not gonna be like not everyone's gonna like dump their fab for him on Monday or Tuesday. So it's like he's kind of like a sneaky guy that could pass through waivers, or you can get him back on Tuesday.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Sure. And he also could be James Conner this year if something happens to Swift, if he gets more hurt. Like I know he filled in last year and didn't look great, but he was banged up when he was filling in. So if you get a healthy Jamal Williams fill in, I really think he could blow up. So I would hold tight, Jeremiah. I think you're thinking about it the right way. If you're able to do that, absolutely. Get some more info through the day. And then check in tonight when we go live tonight at like 7:30, and we'll have some more answers for you.
Yeah, I've got Gabe Davis too, and I don't want to bench him, so I think I don't have any other options. Maybe I have to drop one of those running backs tomorrow night, but that would suck. But
and do you have an IR spot potentially too that you could slide Davis into if he ends up being out?
I do. I have a reserve spot. I don't know the settings on it though, because we just added it this year, and I don't know if I can add like out players or if they actually have to be like
on the IR. Yeah, definitely double check that too, because that could also potentially be a big swing. But awesome stuff, Jeremiah. Thanks so much for the call, my man. I'm sure we'll see you later tonight.
Yeah.
Cheers. See you, man. Best of luck. All righty. And let's get on now to, again, your questions will be, if you do the super chat, usually pops up right for us. So we'll know right away. But otherwise, we're just going to go in order as we got them. And always getting to the show before it starts is rushing yard. So we'll kick it off with you, baby.
I do have two things. So Kadarius Toney is going to be active, and Julio Jones looks like he's going to be out. They initially said it was ribs, but it looks like it's knee. So it's not great.
That's weird.
Yeah. So that's the two pieces of news we have so far.
Is it official that he's out yet or no?
No, I think they have to wait until they declare him out. But Jeff Darlington said his knee will likely sideline him. So.
Okay, wow. That's big news. That's knee and not ribs. Like something else is going on. He looked so good last week too, but certainly up there in age, and this is kind of expected at this point. Definitely, again, keep checking on him. We'll keep checking on him, but Gage would get a huge boost. Just him and Evans. Evans gets boosted up. He gets boosted up. Yes, it's a tough matchup for them both, but Tom Brady can still sustain multiple wide receivers even in tough matchups.
So he just was declared out. Julio's out, Godwin out, Donovan Smith out, and Kamara.
Okay, wow. All right, so we got the official news. Julio Jones is out. Definitely bump up Russell Gage. I'm going to just quickly take care of that in my rankings. I came in 25th last week out of 200, so not a horrendous start. Number 2 in kickers, of course, the most important position for you guys. So I know my man Jeremiah was just tuning in about kickers. You got kicker questions. I'm the guy to go to. But let me just X out. So again, Julio Jones officially ruled out. I bumped up Russell Gage, wide receiver 36, just below Hunter Renfrow, Jarvis Landry. I'd probably go Ayuk over him. Certainly Drake London over him, but right in that range, Russell Gage, just ahead of Curtis Samuel, Elijah Moore, DJ Chark. That's right where he slid in for me. Did any of those names sound like insane to you, CJ? Curtis Samuel?
No, I like that that area. Yeah. You
like Gage more than them?
Yeah, I mean, there's no one really to throw the ball to, and Evans gets locked down by Lattimore every time. So.
Yeah, I do like Evans though today. He did have a huge game too. That one I was alluding to when Brady had 375 and 4. So I'm bumping Evans above Sutton, but not above Tyreek Hill. I'm going to keep Tyreek Hill at 8. Evans comes in at 9 for me. So that is the receiver update there. And as you mentioned, Kamara is out. Ingram's active, but they had suggested this might be a committee. I don't want anything to do with that backfield if I don't have to. Decent source of volume. In the past, he has been a great smash fill-in number 2, but I don't know if I'm buying it today. Alrighty, to rushing yards. So thanks for those notes, CJ. Hopefully that helps you guys out. We're on to rushing yard here.
All right, rushing yard. Should I start Hunter Renfrow, Chark, or Olave?
I'm going Renfrow there. I think they're going to just murder this the Cardinals secondary, the worst secondary by far in the league right now. So I want anybody going against them, including Renfrow. Down week last week, but he had the toughest slot corner in the league. So I'm giving him a pass there. I'm going there.
I'm right.
Kevin Rice with the call-in. Love to see it. What's going on, my man?
Hey, what's going on? Not in the drive-through this time. So I got a tough one this week. I have both Pittman and Kamara out. Not having fun already.
Yeah, week 2. So, welcome to the season.
Yeah, can't beat it. So I do have Ingram. I have McKissick. I have Pierce. I'm trying to fill that RB2 spot. I have Drake London in as my wide receiver too, so I'm feeling okay about that. But
definitely,
yeah, this RB2 spot, I'm kind of screwed.
So say them one more time: McKissick,
Pierce, and I do have Ingram. I picked Ingram up.
Out of those guys, I probably do go Ingram. Like I said, I don't love the Ingram play, but in the past, he's been a really good fill-in. I think he has a good shot to fall into the end zone compared to those other guys. McKissick was just really lightly used last week. Actually, Gibson finally was living up to his receiving upside, seeing 8 targets last week. Love to see it. Gibson's one of my favorite plays of the week. So yeah, I roll over to Ingram there. Do you feel any differently, CJ?
No, I like that. I mean, they're not the best options, so I think I'm going with Ingram there. Guaranteed touches.
If you have the bench space to potentially stash a Jordan Mason too and see how that looks, I mean, I don't know if you have anyone to cut, but it's definitely a good figure out the 49ers backfield type of week. He could be an every down starter for you if things move forward and then you don't get Kamara back for a little bit. So.
You actually just reminded me. I do have Jeff Wilson as well. Does that change?
Oh, I'd go Jeff Wilson over any of those guys that you just
really.
Okay. Oh, 100%. I wouldn't even hesitate there. You know me. I hammer Jeff Wilson, and that usually does not work out for me. But I'm going back to the well today, baby. I'm starting him. In every league I have him. I think he's going to get into the end zone and have himself a nice day today. So, yeah, I'm going Jeff Wilson over any of those guys.
I like a 49ers bounce back.
So then that opens up my flex possibly. Would you rather have Ingram or Cordero Patterson?
Patterson, 100%.
Patterson, okay.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Not even thinking twice there.
All right, boys. Thank you.
Best of luck. Hopefully it works out. Those are some decent fill-ins. I still feel okay about your team there. Best of luck, Kevin. Thanks for the call, brother. Later. All righty. Back on to your questions here with Craig Sarno, a regular. I'm surprised he hasn't called in yet. I feel like Sarno would be a regular on the call.
Yeah, I agree. So with Kamara, do I start Nyheim Hines or Pierce? I'm going Hines there. I think he's going to catch a ton.
Yeah, I'm going Hines. I know, again, they keep hyping up that they want to use Pierce more, but, like, I just don't get – Truth had a good point where we were talking about it in the, like, recap show on Wednesday, was, like, the coach keeps saying – yeah, we should have got him more involved. I don't know why we didn't get him more involved. Well, somebody has a say there, the head fucking coach. So, like, what are we doing, Lovie Smith? So I have
it was the perfect game script. Before we were like, oh, the Colts are going to blow them out. It's going to suck. Shitty game script.
Exactly.
And then it was the complete opposite, and he still didn't get any touches.
And he still did. And I think the Broncos are going to onslaught the Texans today. I know obviously there was a tough game for Russ Wilson last week with a couple fumbles on the goal line by his backs, but he was really close to like a almost 30-point fantasy day if he converted touchdowns there. I think they come out, they right the ship. They just let Russ sling it all over the yard. Like, I'm talking 4 or 5 touchdown potentially day for Russ Wilson today. I love him in DraftKings. They're projecting him to be very low owned. Everybody going to Kyler Murray and Derek Carr. I really am into the Broncos. All that being said, I do not trust Pierce. I think Hines will be very involved today, Sarno. So I go there. We didn't end up doing our bold predictions. CJ.
I was just going to say, because Kyler's in my bold predictions.
Okay. Why don't we quickly – it only took us like 3 minutes to get through them all. I will say this. I think I went 0 for 5 on my bold predictions last week. Like, it was embarrassingly bad how bad my bold predictions were. But one of them I just kind of mentioned, Russ rebounds, finishes as top 3 QB. Like I said, 4 to 5 touchdowns. I think he is going to absolutely sling. I also mentioned I love Gibson. I think he scores twice today. Top 5 running back, finishing the day here. So I am a big fan. I love Campanelli popping into private chat as Julio officially inactive. Great stuff. That was last week, which did not pan out. Aaron Joe's going for 100+. Little sleeper here for you. Greg Dortch. The Greg Dortch show, baby. Nobody wants to miss the ticket to that. I think he hauls in 9+ receptions, 80+ yards, a great DFS punt at 3,500. Big into Greg Dortch with everybody else around him out. I think he could step up and have himself a solid day. And my last bold prediction is Evan Ingram eating for top 12 tight end stats versus the Colts minus Shaquille Leonard today. I really like Ingram. What about you, CJ? Let's hear your position by position bold ones.
So I'm going Kyler Murray outside of the top 12 quarterbacks. Call of Duty event this weekend.
Wow.
His passer rating dropped significantly during Call of Duty release weekends. And this weekend, there's some showcase event. So he hasn't studied one of those, hasn't studied the playbook since September 15th.
I love it. That's a great call.
Javonte Williams finished as the overall RB1.5 in full PPR, had 12 targets last week, and gets the Texans, who let up 1 million yards to the Colts last week.
And they talked about using him even more creatively. Like, they obviously gave him a ton of volume, but there's a report that they loved what they saw and they want to use him even more diverse routes this week. You love to see it. They fucking love it.
Yeah, I have him on DraftKings everywhere. And then
come on, yeah, absolutely.
Insane. And then it's kind of a mix. I have Paris Campbell finishing as a top 15 receiver.
Nice.
We'll see double-digit targets with Pittman and Pierce out. And then Mo Alley Cox finishes as a tight end 1, scoring twice.
Wow. See, I love all of those other than the Cox, just because he was outplayed by Kylan Granson last week.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, he could still catch the touchdown. He's still a big body in the red zone. But, I could see it. I could absolutely see it. And I think definitely on DraftKings, figuring out who ends up being the Colts beneficiary of all those guys out is one of the ways to win this week.
Did you ever see the that Reddit post about Kyler Murray during Call of Duty weekends? Whenever they do like a huge, whenever they do like a rollout of like updates or whatever, his passer rating drops by like 8 points. His yards are down. His touchdowns are down.
Brutal. And great analysis, as always, from Reddit over there. We got another call in here. Someone named CJ's #1 fan, shirtless for his boy, it looks like, too, showing some skin today. Love to see it, CJ's #1 fan. How we doing, baby?
Good. How you boys doing?
Much better now. A little too good right now. Whoo, look at that.
Got the gear right here, don't worry.
I'd rather you have it off, though. It looks great. Looks great on the chair, not on the body.
That's off.
Love it.
I got 2 questions for you guys. Kirk Cousins or Trey Lance again? I rolled with CJay last week. And Kirk Cousins worked out.
He did.
I don't even remember what I said last week, but
I don't know. I got lost in your eyes too. So
I go Kirk Cousins there. I'm a little bit worried about the weather again being pretty rainy. It's not quite as bad as it was last week, but I think you get a nice narrative on Monday Night Football. 1, you get the Monday Night Hope factor. Can never overroot that. And then 2, you got a shootout potentially between the Eagles and Vikings there. I love that game in general, a good game environment. So I'm going Kirk there. What about you, CJay?
Yeah, I'm going Kirk. And then especially Justin Jefferson was talking about how the Eagles passed on him and he's going to shred them on Monday night.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%.
all right. The other one is Chase Edmonds, Dillon in the play.
You said Dillon, Edmonds, and Henderson?
Yeah, I got PPR.
I go Dillon. I mean, out touching Aaron Jones last week, looking real good, and especially involved as a receiver was kind of the pleasant surprise for Dillon owners. I like him. I love all 3 of the options. Henderson's really close behind him, but I don't trust McVay a lot with his backfield rotations. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see Akers just come and score 2 touchdowns today, and everyone just gets fucked and flipped on their head. So I'm going Dillon.
I feel like Dillon's almost like a must start every week at this point.
Yeah, he's in my top 12 running backs, I think, this week, like ahead of Aaron Jones even. So yeah, I think we're aligned on those ones. Nice to see. Any other ones we can get to you, Ben? Or?
Thank you, boys.
Awesome. Best of luck, and thanks for showing us some skin, getting all the fans out there excited to see all that. Good stuff. All righty, guys. We'll get back now to your questions on the stream here, seeing some of our regulars and loving it. Mr. DeIndia, why have you not called in yet? I'm a little disappointed we haven't heard DeIndia, but let's hear what we got here.
DeIndia, Elijah Moore, Drake London, half PPR.
I love London. I mean, 5 catches, 75 yards, look damn good doing it. I know what if Ramsey shuts him down type of thing. Ramsey looked like shit on Monday Night Football. Kind of a head case. I don't know if you saw his post afterwards where he's like, "Dear God, please help me find some strength," and just melting down already. You love to see it if you're playing the receivers lined up against him. So I'm going Drake London there. I'm not trusting Eli Moore till I see it. And Drake London looked damn good. So yeah, we had agreement there.
Yeah, definitely. I can't do the Jets stuff.
No Jets. Fuck the Jets.
Sarno, would you start Dotson over A-Rob?
No, I'm going back to A-Rob, and I love Dotson too. Glad you have him, but yeah, I'm going to A-Rob in the flex. One last chance. This would be the last chance, but if he can't get it done against the Falcons, like I was saying, I think it's like a tryout where they really just are practicing and force feeding him to get him the rock.
Juan Pena, hey guys, sorry for the frequent sketchy questions last week. I live next to a dispensary.
You're a regular, so we can forgive you.
I live next to a dispensary, and we'll you know the rest.
Even more justifiable then.
I'm just picturing he's just so high, and he's like, dude, Cooper Kupp or Dotson?
Yeah, this strain is really messing with me, man.
Juan Pena, who should I start for my receiver? 1, Thielen, Judy, Julio's out, or Duvernay?
I would go Judy, honestly. I think they're going to bomb this Texans team. I really do like Thielen to rebound pretty big this week too, but I'm going Thielen. I'm going Judy. I couldn't bench him.
Yeah, I'm going, especially after last week.
Absolutely. And Juan, the only way we'll forgive you, what's the strain of choice? You got to let me know what you're smoking today. I got to see if I have an agreement with you. You a sativa, you an indica. Let's see what you got on par for today, Juan.
And what's your rest of season outlook for Mike Williams?
High hopes, quite literally. I'm not quite literally high yet. Can't wait. But Mike Williams, I do feel really good. I have very high hopes for him, for sure. I thought he looked great on Thursday night, especially when, I don't know that Allen being out's always a positive for him because they did sell out and they stopped Mike Williams in the second half. I just think he's a beast. I feel as long as he stays healthy, he's going to have much more outings resembling what he did on Thursday than week 1 where he disappeared. I think it was very clear after week 1 they need him.
Campanelli, 2 or 3 receiver slots are filled with AJ Brown and Chase.
Just trying to get
Stafford in that super flex.
I love it.
Do I start A-Rob for the stack or start Lazard, Dotson, or McKenzie with Gabe Davis questionable? I'm
gonna go A-Rob still. Again, good options. Definitely could consider Lazard in my opinion, but I'm gonna go A-Rob. What about you?
Well, is he with Gabe Davis questionable, is he starting A-Rob over Gabe Davis?
I think no. I think he's saying he could start McKenzie. I don't think he has.
Oh,
Babe
gotcha.
Like if you have Babe, you're playing Babe.
But, I just reread it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going A-Rob one more time, showing that put him in the flex, give him the slap on the wrist, let him know this is his kind of last shot here. It'll fire him up. It works. I'm telling you, the demotion, it'll work. Let's see how he does.
And Campanelli, should I start Tunyon or Schultz?
I'm gonna go Schultz. Like I don't love the Cowboys this week, but I could see him being like that little security blanket that just.
So he was at the end of the game. I think when Rush came in, he targeted him 2 or 3 times. Right
exactly. Away. So yeah, I'm into Schultz. I'm there.
And would you go with the Browns or Bengals today?
I love them both. I'm going Browns though. Jets, come on, fire them up. I think Garrett's gonna eat Flacco today. Good morning, Andrea.
Andrea, good morning. Giuseppe with Kamara most likely not playing. He's out. Oh, we already asked this on. Wait.
No, Giuseppe's a new one. It's similar though.
With Kamara most likely not playing, pick 2 running backs and a flex. Henderson, A-Rob, Burkhead, Mooney, Ayuk, Stevenson, Jarvis.
My favorite options would be Henderson, then A-Rob, and then because it's PPR, I do like Landry a lot today too. Those would be my top 3. I'm intrigued to see what Mooney does, but I'd rather wait that one out and see those other 3 first.
And Henderson, Dylan, or Jeff Wilson have PPR?
This is Dylan, yeah, definitely.
And Giuseppe again, Zeke, Monty, or Jeff Wilson?
Jeff Wilson. I don't like those other 2. They make me nervous. So yeah, I'm going Jeff Wilson and firing it up. Would you? I know I'm higher on Jeff Wilson steadily though. Who would you go on?
Yeah, I can't trust Zeke right now. And Monty, that's sketchy. The Packers win the Bears.
Very sketchy. Wolfpack, as we move through these questions, that thumbs up button's a free, easy way to help us out. Super chats and call-ins do get preference as well, but that thumbs up button is so greatly appreciated to continue to help us grow. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, also a great way to support the site as we get up to, I think, 2,400, 2,500 now. Fast, rapid growth, and you'll love to see it.
Yo Soy Tony, good morning. Pittman replacement. Pick up Campbell, McKenzie, Dortch, or Watson PPR.
I like Paris Campbell there. I do love Dortch too, but I feel better about the role for Campbell. I guess like the clear number 1 on this team. So I'm going Campbell, and you probably would too, right?
Yeah, I'm going Campbell. I mean, I don't think Christian Watson's ever going to see a target again for the rest of his career.
He did end up running the most routes even after that drop, but he also didn't get looked at again. So just some wind sprints out there.
Ryan Hemming, start 1 running back and a flex, full PPR. Swift, Javonte, Chase Edmonds, Sanders, Samuel, Mooney. Jesus.
And breathe. Am I not breathing? Thank you for the reminder. I will take some deep breaths. I am getting pretty sweaty over here. It's hot. I'm definitely going Swift and Williams, though, right? Like,
I mean, it's tough always to bench Debo. Like, what is this league, by the way?
Oh, you have Samuel's probably Curtis.
Oh, Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, yeah. If it's Debo, then you're going Debo and Javonte. But if not, I'm going Swift and Javonte. I'm not overreacting to this touch. You know, it might be selective. I don't give a shit about that. We're playing Swift. He's too damn good.
Giuseppe, full PPR, flex. Patterson, Monty, Mike Carter, A-Rob.
It comes down to Patterson or A-Rob, and I guess this is a good one where you don't have to take the A-Rob risk. Patterson was so damn good. Whenever he was healthy last year, it's great. Love that sound of the crack over there. I'm going to go grab one for myself, and I will be right back.
Hey, wait, get me on a question first.
Oh. I pulled it up.
It's not a question. Campanelli still staying loyal to the Facebook. Thank you, Campanelli. And I dropped the call-ins both Facebook and YouTube, so call in.
Staying loyal to the Facebook. You can't click the questions, huh?
No, I can't. Austin Firster, let's go. What's up, Wolfpack? Like and share. Thank you, Austin.
Everyone doing the Lord's work for us in the chat. I appreciate it, buddy.
Jordan Teat, start 2. Evan, St. Brown, Daddy Davis, Henderson.
He's learned well. I love that people are picking up on Daddy Davis. Trending worldwide, Daddy Davis. Man, I think I'm going St. Brown Evans. Like normally it'd be St. Brown, probably Daddy for me, but with the Monday night risk factor that he might not play here now, I'm going to go Evans and St. Brown. What about you?
Yeah, that's a little sketchy. I mean, I don't love Evans obviously against Lattimore, but with Davis questionable,
he's going to see a billion targets. I mean, they have no one else with no Julio or Godwin today.
I just want to see them brawl at some point.
I do too. I guess that's the risk with Evans is like an early punch is thrown and he's just tossed. Like that could get ugly fast. But I'm sticking to Evans, the St. Brown. Those are the
There's another rivalry in that game, Mike Thomas and Carlton Davis.
I love it. Yeah, coming back. I saw them tweeting at each other. That game's going to get feisty. I can't wait.
Yeah. Ryan Hemming, start one running back and one flex. I think we just answered that.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And breathe. Yeah. Double reminder to breathe. We love you too, Ryan. Thank you.
But he loves our work.
Yeah, we're going. Oh, no, this was a different one. Start one running back. Swift. It was Jamal Williams. So I think we said Javonte, so he's correcting it. So it's Swift and I think Edmonds for me here. What about you?
I think I'm going Mooney and Swift.
Okay.
I'm going with a bounce back outside of a monsoon.
I'll tell you this. I wrote about Samuel, my first stock watch in a real long time, about Curtis Samuel. I loved what I saw, and the more I dug into him, the more I like it. Like 11 touches, 11 targets, 5 carries. Like that usage is insane. So I really do like Curtis. I feel good about Edmonds today, though. I mean, they gave up a shitload, 19 targets to the running back position against the Jets. And I know that's part of their scheme. It's part of Flacco's check down tendencies. But Edmonds eats in the passing game. You got to imagine Mike McDaniels noticed that weakness and will pepper Edmonds. So I like Swift and Edmonds here myself.
Yeah, the thing about Curtis Samuel, too, is that a lot of people are like, oh, the next Debo, blah, blah. But he actually had that usage in college, so he's used to carrying the ball.
He really did. Yeah. I mean, I actually pulled up your old article when you wrote when he first got to Washington. He had the second most receiver touches behind only Stephon Diggs just 2 seasons ago. I mean, the guy is a highly used weapon. And, it was only a top 25 receiver, but top 25 receiver is, legit for a guy on the waivers. So, yeah. I'm really a big fan of Samuel. I'm facing him today, so I'm a little nervous about that. But
just has to stay healthy. Andrea, need one. Cole Kmet, Higbee, Albert O.
I don't like any of these guys. I'd probably go Higbee. I was
going to say Albert O got a bunch of targets last week.
Kind of, but he was splitting it with fucking, Beck had the first.
I was going to say that was the weirdest target distribution.
They have 4 tight ends rotating in and out. Alberto almost found the end zone, and I guess against Houston, it's a decent streamer. I think I go Higbee though. I mean, he ran a route on 95% of the dropbacks. He saw 9 targets. I mean, I do think A-Rob has a good rebound, but as bad as Higbee is, he's the better bet for volume here. And I think he could find the end zone against Atlanta.
Yeah,
so I'm going to
go. These are kind of a coin flip.
I don't even hate Alberto because of the matchup. It's true. He could find the end zone too, but I'm going for Higbee there.
Richard B, Dylan or Judy flex?
Oh, man. 2 I love this week. I'm going to stick to Dylan, though. I really just like Dylan in his role.
Yeah, I think he's almost locked in every week.
He's one that's going to be pretty much just set and forget.
Especially Rodgers fucking hates his receivers.
Judy is a good one to compare him to, though, because Judy after that touchdown last week gets Houston. He's tough to sit as well, but I'm going Dylan. I'm going Dylan here.
Kate Shagir, full PPR flex. Edmonds, A-Rob, Drake. London.
Man, Drake versus I like them all. I like all 3 of these guys this week. I think I'm going back to the A-Rob well and just hoping for the best. That's obvious. I think admittedly the riskiest though. And if you're in a pretty good spot and it's an even matchup or you're even a slight favorite, I do love Drake London this week. Coin flip for me, but I think I'm going to go A-Rob here. What about you?
I'll make it more difficult and go Drake.
I do really like London. And I will say this, him and Edmonds have by far the safer floor. I just really do think they're going to come out and force feed A-Rob and really try to establish him today. Whether it works or not, we'll find out.
Denny Jennings, starting Mixon already. Sit one of these running backs. Patterson, Mike Carter, Ingram.
I go. Yeah, sit one. I'm probably sitting Ingram. I really like what we saw out of Carter and the receiving work. I'm just seeing right now too that we have a couple super chats. They did not pop up. The classic douchebag comment where if it's under $4, $5, I don't think it pops up on our program, but I am seeing those now. So I will be getting those in 1 second. Thank you guys so much for the support. But yeah, I'm benching Ingram there. What about you?
Yeah, I'll probably bench Ingram. Mike Carter will get some receiving work, hopefully, and Sam Patterson.
I think
I'm not trusting him just running straight into that Bucs line.
No, me neither. And especially PPR, those 9 targets for Carter last week are sexy. So yeah, I'm sticking there. All right, so we'll hit these 2 super chats. Thank you so much for the support, Brandon Brown. Let's hit this one first.
Start Deontay or Swift in the flex full PPR.
I'm keeping it with Swift. I'm not overreacting unless like a new report comes out that he's going to be really limited. This like they may be selective. I think Deuce Staley emphasizing like how you have to play hurt is the bigger thing for me. And they're going to really test out Swift and see how he can handle playing a little bit hurt. He's not injured. He's hurt. They're going to force that issue. So I'm sticking with Swift. I don't like Deontay's good, but with Trubisky here, it's like, yeah, he led the team in targets and he's in that still very valuable role, but the Patriots secondary does fucking suck too. Swift is just so elite though. I can't bench Swift unless I know he's like only going to see 5 to 10 touches. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you there, especially Belichick, even though he may suck now. Deontay Johnson still may be the guy they want to take out of the game with Harris hurt. So
yeah, it really could be. That's true. That's a really good point as well. Yeah, so we're both going Swift there, Brandon. Thank you for the support.
And fella, pick 2 full PPR, Mooney, Cooks, Dotson. I'm benching Dotson, I think, here.
I would go yeah, I'm benching Dotson, and I really like him, fella. Glad you have him, but I think I would trust Mooney to rebound. I mean, the Green Bay secondary should be really good. Jefferson obviously torched him, and I know Mooney's no Jefferson, but like they didn't shadow with Jair, and like they do move Mooney around. It's close for me though. But I'm gonna go Cooks. I'm gonna go Mooney. Yeah, I'm with you there, CJ. Only 5 targets for Dotson. I know he made the most of them, but I'd like to see a little bit higher of a share. It's just so many good options there in Washington, and it's still Carson Wentz, so routinely sustaining 3 receivers each and every week, maybe this week against Detroit, but I like the idea of the 2 target hogs and Cooks and Mooney. All right, let me find our place here. We left off with Katie Jagier, Denny Jennings, and Sarah Riley. Here we are.
Sarah Riley, half PPR, need 1 running back and a flex. Swift, Dylan, Jeff Wilson, Gabe Davis, Higgins, Hollywood. Half my team is questionable.
Man, it's almost always going to be Babe Davis for me. I would go Dylan
over Higgins.
Not this week because of the issues with Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I think I'm going with Dylan Swift.
I did have Gabe I had Daddy Davis ahead of Higgins coming into the week, but at this point, no. These are all such good options. It's like sad that you have to bench. I remember this last year too, Sarah. Your team's always too fucking stacked because it's like it's a tough one where you can't really lose. I agree with all the guys you're starting. I wouldn't bench any of them. I'm definitely locking in Dylan. And then it comes down to like Higgins or Swift for me. I think I'm going to stick it out with Swift. Just too good to bench. I'm not benching him here. So yeah, I'm going to go Swift and Dylan. What about you?
Yeah, the 2 running backs I'm going with.
There we go.
Michael Gaganji. PPR need 1 running back from Stevenson, Damian Harris, Burkhead. Can't do the Stevenson Harris stuff. Need 2 flex from the 2 running backs I don't use, and Paris Campbell, Tyler Boyd, or Logan Thomas.
Good question. A lot of interesting pieces here. I'm going to go one of the Pats backs. I'm going to go Harris. I think they're going to really try to establish that ground game. I know everyone's down the Pats. I wouldn't be shocked to see them come out and win this one in Pittsburgh, and largely due to a ground and pound. The Steelers gave up over 5 yards of carry last year. That was with Watt in the lineup. Now Watt's out at least for this week. I think Harris is going to have a day. I think he's going to be solid.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go Harris. I have a hard time starting them both, even though I do see them. It'll be an interesting week to see what happens with Stevenson with no Ty Montgomery this week. But maybe, I don't know if Pierre Strong's active. He's questionable coming into the week. They could still just muddy that up. So I'm going to go Harris. And then I'm going to go, I think, Paris Campbell.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I don't trust Burkhead, my twin.
No, me neither. So yeah, I'm gonna go Campbell, and I'm gonna go at the flex. It would have probably been Boyd for me too, but with Higgins back, I don't know that I do that. So yeah, I'm gonna go Damian Harris, and I'm gonna go
Harris got a lot of 3rd down last week, and especially with Montgomery out. There's also a prop on sportsbooks with Harris 1.5 receptions that I love over.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, I like that too. Because he played a lot of the 3rd downs last week too. So yeah. Got a super chat from Jordan Teague, but no question there. Thank you so much for the support, Jordan. Do you want to keep your eyes down at the bottom there, CJ, and just see if a question pops up from Jordan? Because we'll make sure to get that. In the meantime, we do have another call in, Mr. Russo. Welcome back to the show, brother. Good to see you. How are we today?
How we doing, gents? All good.
All good, all good. Let's hear what you got for us.
Hey, the Victor Cruz jersey today?
Yeah, boy. Let's go 2-0, baby.
Too many Giants fans out there. Fuck.
So today I was wondering for the flex, should I go Najee, Montgomery, or Allen Robinson? PPR.
Ooh, tough.
I hate Najee this week, but I think out of that group, I'll go with Najee.
I do too. I'm not going Montgomery. There's just nothing there for me right now. I want to say A-Rob. Like I do think they're going to force feed him, but Najee, as long as he's out there, is probably going to get the touches. Nobody would be shocked if it was like much ado about nothing and he just has like a Najee game with 8 catches or type of, something like that. I think that's the safest play. Unless you really need a huge injection of upside, I'm going to go Najee there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, fellas. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks for the call, and we appreciate it, Giuseppe. Cheers. Good luck.
Yeah, see ya.
All righty. And then we left off at, I believe it was like 11 o'clock. So let me find Michael. We got Jordan Super Chat. Do you want to just kind of?
Jordan actually asked a question above, so maybe it was from that earlier. It was one of the first questions we answered.
Yeah, I thought we answered it, but
maybe he's just being a nice man.
Maybe he's just supporting the site. But Jordan, we saw your super chat, so if you had a question that we did not answer, please do re-ask it. We'll keep our eyes peeled for it. In the meantime, we'll just keep mowing through these.
Full PPR, Kenyon Drake, Chase Edmonds, Mark Ingram, or DK, pick 2, and then Kenyon Drake or Jeff Wilson in another league.
I'm going to go Chase Edmonds out of all those running backs. I do really actually like DK today, though. The 49ers gave up the most deep yards.
Well, you can pick 2, so.
Oh, it's pick 2. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going Edmonds and DK. And then I'm going to go Jeff Wilson over Kenyon Drake, even with Dobbins out. That run game just kind of look gross. So, yeah, give me Jeff Wilson there.
Yeah, I'm with you. Jagir, half PPR flex, London Hines, Jordan Mason.
I'm going London. I like London a lot. And I do like Hines too, but yeah, give me London there.
Yeah. The couple. Johan and Emily Kallstrom. Would you hold on Babe Davis or pivot to either Dotson, Dortch, or even start Taysom Hill full PPR?
I'm sticking with Babe. It sounds like it's your flex if you can go Taysom Hill. And so that way, like if you can, worst case, you pick up Crowder. If McKenzie's there, you can obviously go there. But Davis is just significantly above all these other options that I'm sticking with him.
Who would be on the outside if Gabe Davis were to miss time? Shakir?
In the preseason, actually, it was McKenzie. McKenzie took the outside snaps when they took Diggs out. So my guess is him, and then they'd kick Crowder into the slot.
Gotcha. Aaron Van Castle. Oh,
that's cool.
DK 2 versus 2. Lenny and Swift or Mixon Amon-Ra?
He's probably so DraftKings and like he's trying to pick which one. So
I think the Mixon Amon-Ra.
Yeah. Yep, me too. I prefer the Mixon Amon-Ra side as well.
Noah Hayes, start 2. Kareem, Chubb, or Dalvin?
You gotta play Dalvin, and so then it comes down to which of the Browns, and that's always a tough one. But I like Chubb. Like this is the classic Chubb narrative day.
It's 140 yards on the ground.
It's one of my favorite sites out there, fantasypoints.com. Our good friend Scott Barrett, Graham Barfield, some of the best minds out there. They're great about like how player X does when they're favored by X amount of points. I don't know how they fucking track these things.
Yeah.
But when they're favored by 5 or more, Chubb averages over like 20 fantasy points. So and it makes sense. The game flow, they just bleed in the clock. And this team is so bad, the Jets against the run. This is a Chubb day, through and through. I'm going Chubb there. Chubb and Dalvin.
Rodney Davis, no Kamara or Mitchell. Standard scoring, Pierce, Pollard, Jamal Williams, Stevenson, ETN, or Herbert.
I kind of like standard scoring, Jamal Williams. Swift maybe on a touch count today. Either way, Jamal Williams got 4 out of 5 goal line carries last week. Standard scoring, you're going for touchdowns. And on that list, I think he is definitely the best bet for touchdowns.
Yeah, I can't do the Dameon Pierce thing yet. K5, half PPR, bench 1. Dylan Hunt, Deontay, thank you.
I think I'm benching Deontay, and I really like Deontay, but Hunt's damn good, and the Jets are so fucking bad. And A.J. Dillon's just, again, locked in for me. So as good as Deontay is, high of a target share as he gets, like, he had 12 targets last week and really didn't do a whole lot with it. I just don't love Trubisky. So I'm going Dillon and Hunt here. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm going Dillon, Deontay. I feel like it's more, as we just said, kind of a Chubb day than a Hunt day. So I think I'm going Dillon, Deontay there.
Hunt does get so involved in the red zone, though. Like, that's his thing.
Does.
I think I like Hunt's odds of finding the end zone far more than Deontay.
Can Hunt just get out of Cleveland and we can just have a workhorse every single week?
I know. Just send him to, like, Kareem Hunt on the Rams. He'd be a top 5 running back in fantasy and just free up Chubb. It'd be the best thing in the world.
Austin Firster, Schultz, or Jeff Wilson this week in the flex.
Yeah.
I do have Renfrow, Jacoby Myers, and Anderson, but I think it's between Schultz and Wilson.
See, I love Renfrow this week. I think he has a big rebound against that just absolutely pathetic secondary and his full PPR. I do consider Renfrow over Wilson. It's not Schultz for me. Like, I don't mind Schultz in tight end, but I'm not putting him in my flex. Cooper Rush. Like, I mean, come on. So to me, it comes down to Wilson or Renfrow. I mean, where do you go there in a PPR league?
I think I'm going Wilson. I usually just prefer the running backs and usage over receivers when it comes down to it.
We're getting a big Renfrow bounce back. Maybe I'm just talking.
Although receivers are like better. Receivers are running better than running backs at this point. So.
Yeah, especially in PPR too. Yeah. I think we're getting like a 7-catch, 80-yard touchdown day from Renfrow. So I'm going Renfrow here. Wilson's damn close for me, but full PPR wise, I really think Renfrow bounces back.
K5 start Tom or Cousins?
I'm going Kirk. I like Kirk more than I'd like Brady today. I'm going to go grab my charger. I'll be right back.
Yep. 808 DOL3. Sitter start Stafford or Murray, and then Najee or Edmonds.
Yeah, you go first, and I'll plug in.
Man, even though I did say it a fake Kyler this week, I think I'm going Stafford this week. I'm sticking with my Call of Duty drop off, and Harris or Edmonds. I love Edmonds, but I think Harris will just have more touches and higher workload.
Yeah, I'm going Edmonds. I prefer Edmonds. I love him, especially if it's PPR league here. I'm going Murray. I think we're completely opposite ends of the spectrum here. I'm going to go Murray and Edmonds. And you said Stafford Harris, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Big bounce back week for Stafford, and Kyler just thinking about Call of Duty all day today.
I did see fantasypoints.com, again, another one of those like spread lines. And when Stafford's favored by 5 or more, he averages 24 fantasy points per game. I think he does have a big rebound week. So he's definitely safer than Murray. I just love targeting that game. I think that game blows up. So I'm going to go Murray, and I'm going to go Edmonds myself and not worry about this Najee foot situation. As we can get on to past noon here, folks, that thumbs up button is so greatly appreciated. We'll be live till, I'd say, about 12:40. Then we both have to check our own lineups, make sure everything is all set for ourselves. So if you have a must-hit question, that super chat or the call-in is a way to make sure you get an answer. And call-ins do close once I get into rapid fire mode. So we have about 20 or so minutes till we get there. There's a couple super chats lingering here. We need to get a producer to start tracking these things for us. Down here for Guard Polo. Thank you so much for the support, Guard. Sorry we missed that one down there, but let's hit you now.
Guard Polo. Robert Woods, Zay Jones, or Ashton Dulin?
I like Zay Jones. I do. I'm out on Woods till I see it. Like, that was just scary bad. How they looked as a team and Woods himself.
that team might suck this year.
They're going to be bad. They lost to the fucking Giants. Of course they're going to be bad. They're terrible. Zay Jones actually had the second most expected fantasy points in the league last week because he had 3 end zone targets, which was tied for the second most. So big fan of Zay Jones this week. I don't mind Ashton Dulin as a streamer either, but I really like Zay. The team really likes Zay. It's clear he's above Marvin Jones on their roster. And the Colts secondary is they're good. They upgraded, obviously. But Davis Mills had no real trouble moving the ball on them. So I like Zay. I'm sneaking into Zay this week. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, you talked me into him. I mean, I was all on Woods last week. They just look terrible as an offense. I'll go Zay. I'll ride you too.
I'm just keeping my eyes peeled for what's his name, Sanger, whoever. That Robert Woods versus CH was a fail. I'm just hoping that guy comments it. I have a big rant, and it looks like Jordan was just showing the boys some love. Much appreciated, Jordan. Thank you so much. It is proven good fantasy karma to send a super chat in, by the way. You're almost guaranteed to win.
I'd say it's a guaranteed win.
Yeah. Guaranteed W for the boys. All righty. We left off on where are we? No two. I love No two. He always comments in. I've seen all the regulars. We got a lot to go, so we'll definitely make sure to hit that super the rapid fire soon. We left off at Brady versus Cousins, so we left off right here at that one. So here we go. Chance.
Daniel Holland, Chance playing Gabe Davis or play London or DK.
I would go Davis. I think. I do love both these other guys, though. So this is where it gets tricky. But I mean, if Davis misses, assuming Holland, you can get McKenzie, worst case Crowder. Like, I don't think those guys are that much of a downgrade. I think I waited out and played Davis unless we get some news in the next few minutes about like Davis is really actually doubtful type of thing. I'm waiting it out for Daddy. What about you?
Yeah, I'll wait it out.
It sounds a good message to him either way.
I do like those options, but
those are great options. I really like them both. Oh man, that's really hard. But I'm gonna go Davis there. And Campanelli coming with a private chat. Get on back here and track those super chats for us, Campanelli. That's great. Like he just said he's willing to be the producer to track those. Come on back. You have the link. Come track those for us, man. We really appreciate it. Campanelli's the fucking legend. All right. Billy Jagir, my opponent this week in the family league that has been my kryptonite for years and years. Let's hear what this motherfucker has to say.
That's why it's a question for me. Half PPR.
He knows I'm not going to be honest. I just saw that. Love it.
Half PPR, Ayuk or Dotson. I'm going with Ayuk here. As we talked about, Dotson, only 5 targets last week. Did score twice, but I like Ayuk not in a monsoon. I think the 49ers offense will look normal this week.
Yeah, you'll get nothing from me, you motherfucker. I hope you get your ass beat today, Billy Jigs. Good luck. No, it's going to be a battle. He's got a squad. I think he's in first place in our league right now. So I have Stafford and A-Rob stacked up in that league. It's 16-teamer. I mean, we're grinding. I can't bench A-Rob there. I did demote him to the flex though. So hoping for we both have some good squads. I think we're gonna get a firework matchup this week. I love it.
Is it 16? Is Hillary in it now because she's a family member? Are you waiting until the wedding? Waiting until the wedding?
We have a Wolves and Wafts, like the wives and fiance league, and the boys though. So we are competing. We're not facing each other this week, but we will be eventually. That's going to be a good civil war.
We need a good side bet for that.
Yeah, the ladies of the league actually wanted to get, and I'm 100% on board. They want to do a show where they like chat about like coaches' wives and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, we need the injection of the female audience, 100%.
We do. Back when we used to throw back to what was it called, like Wolves in the Kitchen or something?
Who was that? She would do like the game day snacks. I forget who that was.
Venetia,
that's right. Oh yeah, good toss right there.
Those are for day one. Wolves only. K5 full PPR needs a bench one. A-Rob, Cooks, Moore, Higgins, Kareem Hunt.
I'm mentioning Eli Moore here. I'm not into this Jets experience right now. As talented as I think he is, like, is he that great? If you just, great receivers get it done with whoever's there. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown, I fucking love the guy. He got it done no matter who's throwing to him. I don't trust Eli Moore's role enough.
So today, Jameis Winston is playing today with 4 fractures in his back, and he's in a lot of pain. Okay.
Pain everywhere.
Yeah. That seems like
that is sketchy.
So there's no risk of further damage, and he's wearing pads to protect the area. So it seems like
okay. So it's not like you could take a bad hit, and I mean, I guess the pain would hit it, but Winston toughs that shit out. I fucking love Jameis.
Yeah,
maybe my favorite player that's like not on the Pats type of guy.
Definitely. Mike Clay just got offered Swift and Cooks for Javonte and St. Brown. Thoughts?
I prefer Javonte St. Brown. I mean, you guys know how high I am on St. Brown, and I think Javonte Swift, like, do I prefer Swift? Yeah, but he's already dinged up. Like, he's, Javonte, 12 targets. I don't think he's going to see 12 every week, but, like, that was the big thing with Hackett coming in as he peppers his running back. So I really like Javonte. So I'm sticking to the Javonte and St. Brown side there.
K5, start one defense. Colts, Bengals, Pitt, Patriots, Cleveland.
I like the Browns. I like the Browns against the Jets. They're my favorite this week. What about you?
Yeah, I'd say Browns and Bengals.
I like them all too. I mean, they're all good streaming options, but yeah, give me the Browns. Even though I do think Pittsburgh, no JJ Watt is a little bit, less appealing there.
Tom 6, CJ questionable to make the show on time due to making love to his handsome self in the mirror.
Is that what it was, CJ? Is that the real delay over there?
That is what it was.
Just blowing yourself kisses.
Forky trash. Hunt or Thielen in the flex.
I'm gonna go Hunt. Thielen disappeared last week, and I don't think that happens twice. And I have no actually anecdotal evidence for this, but like I feel like Thielen does blow up a lot on Monday nights and like primetime games. I don't know why.
I'm going
Thielen
there.
Cousins sucks on primetime, so maybe I'm off. But I like Hunt a lot. I mean, the Jets suck, and Hunt is their touchdown man. So I like Hunt here. You go Hunt or you go Thielen?
No, I'm going Thielen bounce back week.
Damn, sorry, we're split for you, Forky, but I'm going to go Hunt there.
Juan Pena, who should I stash? Hilliard's out this week, right? Or Jamal Williams?
Oh, Jamal, 100%. Yeah. Like, Hilliard anyways isn't that attractive, but like if Swift's injury gets worse, Jamal would be a top 12 running back with the way they use their running back should he be a starter at any point. So, oh yeah, Hilliard, no way. And he's out already this week too, so it's not like you're going to learn anything new about Hilliard this week. So yeah, absolutely, it's Jamal Williams.
Chili loves RSJ.
Hey, thank you, Chili. We love you back, baby.
Brian Fitz, happy Sunday, fellas. Let's go get these dubs. PPR flex. Burkhead, Stevenson, Devonta Smith, or Rashad Penny.
Really don't like any of them, Brian. I'm sorry. Yeah. Out of these options, I can't trust Devonta yet. I'm going to go with Penny, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sneaky intrigued by Stevenson. Who'd you go?
Yeah, I was going to say Stevenson or Devonta, honestly.
Yeah, man. I do like Stevenson. I think they're going to really try to get both backs really involved today. I could see Stevenson find the end zone. So, yeah, let's go him because Ken Walker being back and Penny wasn't like – he looked good, but just fantasy-wise wasn't great even without him there. Yeah, give me Stevenson.
Dry on. Jeff Wilson, Kirk, or Pierce in the flex?
Oh, Christian Kirk all day. I mean, he is a hog. 12 targets last week, like easy. No Pierce yet, and Jeff Wilson is also pretty sketch. So yeah, Christian Kirk by far the safest.
Apex week 2. This one may seem a little easier, but not for me. Mike Evans against the Saints, who always gets locked down, or Mike Carter. Mike Evans, come on.
And Evans does have his troubles with Lattimore for sure, but like I mean, they have no one else to throw to. Evans is an easy top 10 receiver for me, so this is easy for me. I'm going Evans there.
Giuseppe, should he start Landry instead of Gabe Davis?
I mean, Landry's right on that fringe, especially I know you do full PPR, Giuseppe.
Let me see if there are any notes on Gabe Davis.
Yeah, see if there's been any updates. I'll kind of mow through a few of these while you're looking them up. I'm going to stick it out with Gabe unless it's looking real sketchy. Love the Crowder wreck. I mean, he is a gamer. I agree with you, Chillard. Every time he gets the options, he performs. So I'm in there. Half PPR, Henderson, Dillon, or A-Rob. I'm going Dillon there, locking him in, Marcos, Valdez, Scantling. And I'm going to go Broncos D. I think the Falcons, yeah, they're not great, but they're going to put up their points this year. I like them. I like Arthur Smith. So give me Dillon, give me Broncos. A little nooner, CJ 2K. Bringing those high noons over there?
Of course. We need to get them a new sponsor.
High Noons brought to you. Yeah. The Fantasy Tailgate brought to you by High Noons. Edmonds or Mark Ingram. I'm definitely going Edmonds here. Fella, Mooney or Cooks. I'm definitely going Cooks there. Absolutely. Tim Grant has been a while. Great to see him, man. An RSJ day one legend there. Julio is not playing as of now. Well, yeah, he's definitely not playing. So not Julio. And Lazard, I probably would have gone anyways. And I'm going to go A-Rob over Etienne. Both are risky. I keep thinking this is the force feed A-Rob. Like, let's get him part of the offense today. So I'm going A-Rob there. Did you find any notes, CJ? You're still digging over
there? Yeah, there's nothing. I haven't seen any
nothing
updates.
New. All righty. Well, back to the questions then.
David Evans, Renfro or Zeke?
Renfro for me, especially if it's PPR or half PPR. I'm off Zeke and most Cowboys today. What about you? You're always...
Yeah, not this year, especially that offense now. I just can't do it.
Yeah. Giuseppe,
Henderson or Josh Jacobs for full PPR?
I like Henderson. I do, again, trusting McVay is always a little sketchy. 80% of the snaps last week, though. I think this is a situation where Henderson has to give the job up rather than Akers just going to suddenly be a part of it.
Sean Brown, I have CD and Pittman. Any waiver wire suggestions?
I mean, Paris Campbell, the Colts guys, definitely potential options. Donovan Peoples-Jones, 11 targets, is still out there. in like 90% of leagues right now. I could see DPJ against a bad Jets team having
what's Dotson's percentage?
Oh, I mean, Jahan Dotson and him and Samuel are my definite favorite too. Dotson was 30% or 36%, I believe, entering the day. So yeah, Jahan Dotson's a great one to toss out there, CJ. Just has like long tail. I think he's going to be an absolute monster, but even immediately could have a play. So Dotson would definitely be my favorite, followed by Paris Campbell, followed by, I do actually really like Greg Dortch too. If you're like really, really desperate, I think Dortch is a nice plug and play today.
Mike DeGonji, PPR need. I think he already asked us.
Oh yeah, we got that one already.
Matthew Noto, Colts D versus Jacksonville or 49ers versus Seattle. Points allowed doesn't matter.
Oh, that's kind of strange. So it's all about the turnovers. I guess Colts then. Like I don't know. The Niners don't really have like that. Well, I guess they have a pretty good line though. The Niners do.
Yeah,
and
I think I go with
a terrible offense.
I like the 49ers to bounce back this week.
Yeah, especially with like the weather there too. Could force a few more turnovers than we're used to.
I don't expect Gino.
Keep hammering it for us.
Noto, A-Rob, Al Lazard, or Robbie Anderson, full PPR.
It's close between Lazard and A-Rob. And I mean, obviously Anderson with the 30% target share was nice last week, but I'm going A-Rob. I'm going to keep going back to the well. And if I'm off and I'm wrong, we're not going him next week. Like if you can't do it against the Falcons, we're off. But what about you?
Yeah, I'm sticking with A-Rob here. The Packers, I think Aaron Rodgers just hates those receivers, and Robbie's just too boomer bust for me.
Yeah, there we go. No Julio playing, so it's Kenyon, I guess. But all those receivers we just gave Nick Thomas, Paris Campbell, even Greg freaking Dortch, Jahan Dotson for sure. I have all of them above Kenyon Drake, so keep that in mind too.
Janar Koss, start Robbie Anderson or TJ Hawkinson?
I'm not a Hawkinson guy. I never was this year. I'd rather have like the deep potential of Robbie Anderson. 8 targets last week was more than DJ Moore. I'm going to go Robbie Anderson there.
Giuseppe, Najee, Monty, Mike Carter, or A-Rob flex?
You got to go Najee there and just ride your round one pick.
Zane Jennings, Mike Carter, Elijah Moore in the flex, full PPR.
Carter, the heartbeat of the offense, like wasn't actually even an exaggeration. Saw the most touches, played good ball.
Noto again, Najee or Cordero Patterson, full PPR.
I'm leaning Patterson. I am. I'm leaning Patterson.
Could be a good script for him too. Michelle, yay football.
Yay football indeed. Great comment.
Shampoo, Warren, Palmer, Algier, who isn't worth a roster spot.
I don't think Algier's worth a.
I'm higher on him than you, but Warren I think could be a potential league winner. I just don't trust Najee at all.
I'd rather stash Warren and see what happens there. I mean, Palmer, I don't think you can probably pick up as of right now, but I would stash Warren today, and then if he does nothing, cut Warren for Palmer. I really do like Palmer. Nice touchdown. As long as Keenan's out, he's a decent play.
Fella, Mooney or Duvernay full PPR? I have to go Mooney.
I'm going Mooney. Duvernay always had those 2 touchdowns, but I think that was pretty fluky. 50% of the routes,
Clip alive, Jamal Williams or Ingram for his running back 2 spot?
I trust Jamal a little bit more to find the end zone than I do Ingram. I know Ingram's the starter, but that's a tough matchup against the Bucs.
Filonini, A-Rob or Kirk in the flex? I'm going Kirk.
Kirk, yeah. Kirk is a good reason to bench A-Rob.
Face 055, half PPR, pick 2 of these. Paris, Zay Jones, Gage, or Duvernay? I'm thinking Paris and Gage.
I'm going Gage. Yep. I'm going Gage and probably Paris. I do really love Zay Jones, though. I mean, I might be the only person to say that, but I really like Zay Jones. 4,300 on DraftKings, too. But yeah, I'd go Campbell and I'd go Gage.
No house advantage.
Check them out. Presenting sponsor.
RSJ promo code, $25 match. Do it.
Help support the boys. A great app with tons of overlay today. Tons of available money.
King, Mike Evans, Mike Thomas, or Gabe Davis? Jeez.
I'm gonna go Mike Evans here. Very close with him. That's a good reason to bench Davis. Those are the caliber receivers to not wait it out for Gabe Davis. Both of them. But yeah, give me Mike Evans there.
Zane Jennings, Jim Rager, revenge game.
Yeah, get the fuck out, Rager. Absolutely agreed.
Dan,
not playing, so we're going London. Absolutely.
KJ Garrett, desperate tight end. We're dropping Henry for Conklin. I can see a touchdown for Henry. I think it's a higher touchdown upside. You know that offense blows.
That offense sucks. I kind of like Conklin. I don't have any qualms dropping Henry. I think I drop Henry for Conklin. I mean, I don't know. They suck. They really fucking suck, the Pats.
Brandon Uthman, Gabe Davis, ? Picked up Isaiah McKenzie in case. Good job. Do I play Lazard in my flex or wait? I would just wait.
I'd wait it out. Yeah, I'd wait it out because I think McKenzie versus Lazard, like McKenzie with no Gabe Davis, is very comparable to Lazard. So, yeah, I'd wait that one out, Brandon.
Eric Underwood, start 2 of these. Mooney, Bateman, McKenzie, the first 2 for me.
I would go, yeah. I know because if Gabe Davis is out, I probably actually like McKenzie more than Bateman, but it's tough to know. So, yeah, I just go the first 2.
Matt Stevens, full PPR. Jamal Williams, Zeke, Dylan for me.
I go Dylan, definitely there. Matt Murray needs 3 of these.
Lazard, Gabe the Babe, A-Rob, Elijah, or Ayuk?
Need 1 from Edmonds and Ramondre Melvin as well. So the running back's a little easier. I'll go Edmonds. I'm a big Edmonds guy. Need 3 of these receivers: Lazard, the Babe, A-Rob, Eli, and Ayuk. I'm waiting out for Gabe the Babe, assuming, Murray, you have like either McKenzie. I guess you could go Crowder, worst case. I'm waiting for a Bills, so let's reserve a spot for Gabe the Babe or a Bill. I'm big on A-Rob, as you guys have seen. Huge on A-Rob this week. And I think I go Lazard of the other 3. They clearly needed him, and I could see him having himself a big night. So I'm going with the Babe, I'm going A-Rob, and I'm going Lazard. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with the first 2. It's between Ayuk and Lazard for me, but I can picture Lazard. Rodgers just destroys the Bears, so although they do kind of suck too.
Yeah.
I like Lazard to score though.
Yeah, like you mentioned, what I own you. He yelled to the Bears fans, like definitely. Rodgers after last week's down game too. I could see it big. Our producer, Super Chat, pointing it out. I love this new producer for us here with David Campanelli, and I love the support from Matthew Feeney. Thank you guys so much.
What's CA $5? California $5? Happy Sunday. It's worth less. Happy Sunday, guys. Melvin Gordon or Jamal Williams for flex? How PPR?
Ooh, good question. Man, I kind of like Melvin. I think they're gonna just destroy this Texans team. They just gave up like 150 yards to Taylor. And I know Gordon's not Taylor. Javonte is not too far off. Oh, it's Canadian money from Matthew Feeney. Nice.
California, I'm such a dummy.
But I like Gordon. He was involved in about 50% of the snaps. I'm a Javonte guy. I wish he wasn't as involved as he is, but he is. He got goal line work. I think Gordon. I do like both of these options. I do, but I feel like Gordon has just like the clearer path to volume and probably better scoring chances.
Yeah, I'm almost comfortable starting him every week in the flex. I think
so too. He's a good back. I think it's Javonte's that much better that it's annoying that he's not in every play, but there's no slight to Gordon. Gordon's a really good player still. So, I like Gordon. I think that's the right play there for sure. So, thank you so much, Feeney, for the support from Canada. It's much appreciated. And we left off Murray's needed 3, so we're on Austin Johnson. It is 12:24, so I'd say after the next couple, I'm going to gear up for a rapid fire.
Should I start one of Gabe Davis and McKenzie tomorrow, depending on health, or start A-Rob?
I'd probably wait it out for the Bills.
I feel fine about Gabe Davis. He was limited. He wasn't out. He was limited in practice. So.
Right. I think it was just a small little tweak. I don't ever want to bench Gabe Davis if I don't have to. I fucking love Gabe. Sorry, my charger got stuck in my fucking chair. Pulled out. My computer's going to die if I don't have it charging. So, all righty. I'm waiting that out for the Bills, though, Austin. I like Gabe too much to bench.
Giuseppe, Dan Carlson, or suck up?
I'm going Carlson. I think there's just going to be points on points on points. And that guy's as accurate as they come.
Campanelli, full PPR. I know I called in for this, but would you start Mike Thomas or Renfro?
Yeah, I'd go Mike Thomas over Renfro still. Campanelli, absolutely. Big Mike Thomas guy.
Alex McBuckets. Should I trade Ingram for Ayuk? Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have your handcuff, but Ingram's a corpse. Ayuk's a stud.
Dust. Arik Burks. Should I start Mike Evans or T. Higgins? Both questionable.
I go Mike. It is close, though, and I know you're a little bit lower on Mike. Is this Is this where you draw the line, CJ? What do you think?
No, with Higgins questionable. I mean, he's obviously going to play, but I'm going Evans there.
He's going to get bathed in targets. There's no one else there.
Joel Mendy struggling with injuries for flex PPR. Should I start Thielen, Woods, Anderson, or Stevenson?
Oh, it's Thielen. You're sticking it out with Thielen. Absolutely there.
Mm-hmm. First, Renfro or Pollard?
It's Renfro. Pollard sucks. You can't trust Pollard at all right now. Like his real case was if Zeke gets hurt and he's the lead back in this explosive offense. This offense isn't going to be explosive until Dak's back. So yeah, I'm going there. All right, I'm gonna queue up a rapid fire here, folks. If you want an in-depth answer or a guaranteed one, I'm gonna go for 20 minutes, not even 15 minutes, and then we're gonna sign off to get our lineups ready. So at 12:40, hard cutoff. You want a guaranteed answer? That super chat is the only way because we're not taking call-ins anymore because we're going rapid fire, baby. Davis, I'm still going Davis. I'm not worried about this as long, Pat Sullivan, as you can get one of the backups, whether it's McKenzie or worst case Crowder. Eli Moore, Russell Gage. I'm going Russell Gage Apex with all these injuries here. Deontay full PPR or Swift. I'm going Swift. I'm not overreacting quite yet. Need a receiver and a flex. Deontay, Renfro, Kirk, James Robinson, Kareem Hunt, Penny. I'm going to go Kirk for the receiver, and I'm going to go Kareem Hunt for the flex. PPR, Higgins or Evans. We just answered that one. I'm going Evans. I'm going to put you in timeout if I see that one again. All right, but thanks for being here. But yeah, if you ask that question too many times, I put you in timeout. Don't ban you, just timeout. Renfro over Pollard as well. Another repeat question, so we'll not be doing that. Sunday Fun Day, my man Mike Less. That's good to see you. PPR flex, Wilson or A-Rob or more. And what's today's player prop? So I would go Jeff Wilson. I go A-Rob. I'm rolling him out still in PPR. And I think they're going to force feed it to him, Mike. And player prop lock, Saquon, 26.5 receiving yards on no house advantage, Mike Less, is an absolute smash. That's my personal favorite. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, that was a Tyreek Hill over 4.5 receptions or 5.5 receptions. I like both. Yeah,
that's a good one as well. Flex, Thielen or Samuel or Jay Wilson or Lazard for Steven Hernandez. I'm going to go Thielen of those. Maybe Lazard, actually. That's close. I'm going to go Lazard and think he bombs them tonight. Lamb, Thielen, or Higgins. I'm going Higgins there, Jair. STD testing. Nice name. Will Higgins play? Yes, he's playing today, STD testing. Hopefully your tests came back negative. Nomadic K. PPR, ASRB. Absolutely always St. Brown. There's very few times it's not going to be him. And I love Cooks too, Nomadic, but it's St. Brown for me. Renfro or MT. It's MT for sure. Brandy, good to see you. Welcome back. 2 of 3. St. Brown, Bateman, or Jacobs. I'm going to bench Bateman there. Definitely the number one, but still only ran 70% of the route, so not like a true number one there at all. So, yeah, St. Brown and Jacobs for me. T. Higgins is playing Riley. Yep. Should I drop Dallas for Cincy or Cleveland defense? Yes, absolutely. I would go with Cleveland against the Jets. No Colin with Craig. I'm sorry for the emergency. Jeez, I hope everything is good. Nothing life-threatening, so that's good to hear. But, yeah, prayers up for you, Craig. I guess I can understand if you didn't want to call in from the emergency room. That's justifiable. Hopefully everything's right, though. Hopefully you get it right, too. I respect the commitment, too, to the show. Bateman, Dillon, Stevenson, Hines. Oh, it's Dillon for sure, Tunes. And what do you think, CJ? Stevenson, Hines, Bateman, or Dotson? It's definitely Dillon, and it's one of those 4.
I love Hines.
Your internet suddenly sucks, like really bad. You want to leave and come back? I don't know what's happening over there, but you're all glitching.
Yeah,
so. Yeah, get out of here and then come back. I'm gonna go Stevenson. I really like Stevenson. I think he's gonna rebound. Full PPR, Singletary, Paris Campbell, or Burkhead for RSJ legend himself, Jimmy McGinnis. I like Singletary. I think this team's gonna really commit the backfield to him after fumbles from both the other backs. I like Singletary a lot. Robert Woods, Zay Jones, or Ashton Doolin. I'm going to go I'm going to go Zay Jones. I'm a big Zay Jones fan this week, guard. And you super chatted us that one earlier. So I like that. Hollywood, CD, Etienne, sit one, and Lance or Tua. I'm going Lance over Tua. Tua fucking sucks. And I'm going to go Hollywood. I'm playing Hollywood. I'm sitting Etienne. That's just the usage is too sketchy. Daddy Davis questionable for Katie Jagir. Play him and play Drake. I would wait and pick up Crowder on the wire. I think Drake Daddy's that good. It's a tough call, though, because I really do love Drake London. So safe play is definitely just getting Drake in there and probably having a good game out of him. But I'm just such a big fan of the Daddy. Happy. Oh, yeah. We got that one for you, Matt. Thanks again for the support. We greatly appreciate the super chat. Brandy, we got that one on YouTube. It is Bench and Bateman there. CD, M. Thomas, A-Rob, Dotson, Penny, wide receiver 2, and a flex. Thomas and A-Rob for me there. Tunes. Should I drop Tony for Dortch? Only if you need to start Dortch. Otherwise, Tony's a much better just like stash and see what happens. Thanks again, Jordan T, for your super chat. Campbell or Gage? I'm going Russell Gage with all those injuries. Pick 2 for Jared Brugler. Mitchell, Darnell Mooney, Pierce, Akers. Too many fucking options. Eli Mitchell's hurt, so that's a terrible. Too many. You got to limit this down. I'm going Mooney, and I'm going friggin' Ingram, I guess. But there's too many options there, Brugler. Limit those down. I can focus more. I don't even know how many there were. Wentz or Brady? I'm actually going Wentz today. I know it's crazy, but I'm worried about Brady with a banged-up line and banged-up weapons. Toilet bowl in our dynasty league. Yeah, you guys fucking suck. Higgins or Mike Thomas, full PPR. I started Juju in the flex because we didn't know Higgins was going to play. I'm going Higgins. You never want to play anybody in the flex that goes Thursday night, though, Matt, for just the future. Jeff Lee, great to see you. Pick 1 RB. Jamal, Hines, Pierce. I'm going Hines there in PPR. I like his receiving upside. I do like Stevenson a lot, but he's more a half PPR, more a touchdown guy. So yeah, give me Hines. M. Thomas, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson. I'm going T. Higgins there for sure. I'm going Samuel Thomas, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, Najee, Cordell, start 3. I'm going. It sucks to start both Packers, but I'm going both Packers, and I'm going to go Cordell Patterson. Oh no, Mixon's a fucking 100% lock. So go Mixon and go. Actually, maybe you just go Mixon, Dillon, and Patterson. Give yourself more upside. I would definitely trade one of those Green Bay guys if you could. Need 2, Evans, Higgins, or Waddle. I'm benching Waddle there. Jason Blunts, Raheem Prince. Need help with my flex for this week. Do I start T. Higgins or Allen Robinson? I'm going T. Higgins there. OJ Howard, nah, not really, Juan. I mean, 2 touchdowns last week. That felt real fluky. I'm going to go Lance over Brady. It's real close for you, Hayden, and Deontay MT flex. I'm going to go MT. And Dillon or MT, I'm going Dillon over those other guys. I'm going to go Gabe. I'm waiting for the babe, but you got to make sure you have your backup plan ready, Jeff Lee. Christian Kirk, Waddle, Cooks, Kareem Hunt, DJ Moore. Start 4. I mean, come on. I'm not answering that. Limit it to the 2 you've got it to. I'm not setting fucking lineups. Limit it down. Limit it down, baby. Swift, Judy, Josh Jacobs, Curtis Samuel, flex. I guess this does, Alec, you're new to the show, so I don't want to be a jerk here. I would bench. I'm not a DJ Moore guy. I'm benching DJ Moore there. Just say bench 1. That makes it a lot easier next time when you word your questions. Swift, Judy, Jacobs, Curtis Samuel, flex. Swift for me, IO, Lexa. I'm not overreacting. None of those options are too big. Team name, Big Diggs Energy. Trade away, Diggs. Too much. Can't analyze a trade. Jordan, you did super chat us, so you know what? I will get this one for you. Diggs, Pollard, Komet for Keenan Allen, Hunt, Waller, full PPR. I like it. I mean, Keenan, Hunt, and Waller, top to bottom, are going to be in your lineup, whereas only Diggs, best player of the trade, but I think he really upgraded in other places. You're not pulling the plug on Eckler for any of those guys, Juan. Come on. Daddy Davis. So it's good you still have. I guess that makes sense even more. It's tough to start both those guys each and every week. And there's one offense you can pull it off with. It's that one. All right, we got 5 minutes left, Wolfpack. So that thumbs up button is so greatly appreciated. I'll try to get through as many as I can. That super chat way is the only way to get a guaranteed answer at this point, though. So I'm going to get through as many as I can here. I'm going T. Higgins. Rakeem, I've seen that question multiple times, so you're going to timeout for now. So that way I can just keep up with everybody else here. Gabe Davis, do I move Penny? Nope, I'm going to wait it out for Gabe Davis there and just have a backup. Cade York or Elliott? I'm going Cade York. I really like that kid for the Browns. Edmonds or Ingram? I'm going Edmonds there. Alex, I'm putting you in timeout, Jared. We've seen that question too many times. Thank you for being here, but just please don't keep repeating the questions. We are going to get to them, I promise. Giuseppe, drop Khalil Herbert for Jalen Warren. No, I like Khalil Herbert. Jay Williams or M. Carter. I'm going Michael Carter there, Broderick. Happy Football Sunday, Y2J to you as well. Let's get it indeed. I'm going Christian Kirk over Michael Thomas. We appreciate you too, Feeney from Canada. Thanks again for the super chat. So greatly appreciated. Aaron Jones or Najee Harris. I'm going to go Aaron Jones there. Schultz or Higbee. I'm going Schultz, Jair. Mark Ingram or Jamal. I'm going Jamal Singh. I think he's got a good touchdown bet. Half PPR. Who should I start in 2 slots? Pierce, Woods, Chark, or A-Rob? A-Rob, and I don't know who Pierce is at receiver, so I guess Chark. Should I play Allen Robinson? I'm going A-Rob over him. I think he's going to score today. I'm big on A-Rob today. I think he rebounds big. Mooney or Olave for Anthony Nardella. I am going Mooney there. Gabe Davis suffered an ankle. Team not ruling him out, but holding out hope, but he's very much in question. It's an interesting tweet. Thank you, Mike Clay, for the update. So questions like Katie Jagir, I don't know if you're still here, but like that does sound pretty sketchy. So I would go, if it was like and people asking like Landry or Babe Davis, I would go Landry. I would go Drake London. This is kind of sketchy here. Holding out hope, but very much in question. Yeah, I would go some of those like pretty good options, A-Rob even potentially, type of thing, instead of waiting it out for daddy. That's sketchy. Higbee or Pitts, you got to go Pitts, Jair. I mean, come on. Will T. Higgins start? Yes, Sports Clips. It looks like he's playing and he's good to go. Browns or Bengals? I'm going Browns against the Jets, no doubt about it. Should I start C. Samuel or Drake London for Singh? I'm going Drake London. I have him 100%. I love Drake London this week. Lockett, Lazard, Ingram is a flex. Kittle replacement again. Eduardo, we're going Lazard there. I think he has a big night. They clearly needed him last week. Michael Thomas, CeeDee Lamb, Hollywood Brown, or ETN. I'm going to go Hollywood and Michael Thomas, Sam Trigg. Good luck. Good options there. Wolf, you know where I lean, but Breece Hall or Wilson. You know where I lean, Jeff Wilson. And I know your expected points model. Great stuff there, Duck. I get it with Breece, and he did look pretty good on his carries, but still sketchy situation, still a sketchy team. I'm going to see what happens with the 49ers and roll the dice there. Gabe Davis or Eli Moore. I don't love Eli Moore. I would kind of rather have like Davis or McKenzie if you can get that as like a backup plan. If not, then you just go Eli Moore. Hollywood or Lazard. I'm going to go Hollywood there, and I do love Lazard, but that's where I'm going. I guess I can start comments. That's good to know. CeeDee Lamb or Gabe. I fucking hate CeeDee, but he did see 30% target share with Cooper Rush last year, Mike, so I'm going to go CeeDee. It's just tough with that new note that you had, Mike, on I appreciate that update. It's big for our listeners. Burkhead or Ingram. I'm going Ingram there. I'm not into Burkhead. He's just gross. Judy or MT. I'm going Judy. It's real damn close, Y2J, though. That's a really good one. Drop Warren, Pickens, or Hines for Kenneth Walker stash. I think I dropped Warren for it, but it's close. I mean, that's a tough one. Derek Juiced to replace Gabe Davis, Lamb, Cooks, Ayuk, or A-Rob. I got to go Brandon Cooks there. I'm a big Brandon Cooks fan. Derek, that's a really nice replacement there. All righty, Wolfpack. That wraps it up. The rapid fire got us all the way through the mailbag. Thank you again so much on your way out. If you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button, like, share, retweets, all that good stuff. We'll be live tonight after the Red Zone ends, your kickout show. So come on back to the Fantasy Tailgate tonight with me and the Truth. It went well last time. Great views, great interaction. We'd love to have you back. 7:30-ish when Red Zone's off the air. We are live for 30 minutes before the Sunday night game kicks off. So come on back for that. Check out my rankings at rotostreetjournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves. And in a Wolf Fantasy Sheep, be the Wolf. Best of luck in Wolf Week 2 Wolf Pack. Love you guys. Cheers.